Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is Lady Freedom here, coming at you with another raw narrative. And it's so good to be here with you guys tonight. Thank you all so much for joining in the conversation in the live stream. And it looks like Gail is here. Hello, Gail. So good to see you. And Sandy. Hi, Sandy. And little Miss Sharon is here. Thank you so much, little Miss Sharon, for hitting that like button. And please, on your way in, hit the like button for summer and a good cause. We also talk about Sebastian Rogers here, and their cases are very similar. You know, they just really are. And the people who we're going to review tonight is Fred and Sheila from the Hatfield McCoy Museum Adventures. Hello, Kiki. Good to see you. So that's going to be tonight's show. And, you know, this is a part 2. So definitely go check it out, or check out the first one that I put out. Yeah, just go check that out. And I need to make some playlists, so I apologize. I'm very behind on that. But all my videos, for lives are all in the same place. Now, I didn't make a separate video tonight for summer, but of course we're going to be reviewing. So, but last time I did have a couple of things. And if I can go look back, I might look and see if we can't show a couple of things. So, Fred and Sheila are very new to Summer's case, but they decided that they were going to go and talk with Don and Candus. So they ended up, and this is, the part 1, they ended up going up the hill, right? So they didn't trust driving up it. So, of course, there was a lot of places that the gravel had washed away and stuff. It's, right next to like a big drop off too, and things like that. So, of course, some of that gravel is going to wash away down the hill. So, anyway, they parked at the bottom. As they were going up, the dogs alerted, right? It looked like Don was already sitting outside. Candus was possibly sitting on the steps or the stoop on the porch when it seemed like they were sitting outside. Hey, Jenny, good to see you. Hey, Shield Poodles. So welcome in, everyone. So, it just appeared that they were, already outside, but the dogs alerted right away. And again, that's what I could pull up too, is, just the property, so we could see the property as well, because it is on the hill. And then, but we'll get into that as well. And you'll see it in this video. I don't think they show when they walk up. Either way, when they start making their way down the hill, right, they talk to, and you'll see it in this one, that's definitely in here. They're walking down the hill, the dogs follow them. The dogs follow them. So if the dogs are following them, I have to think that the dogs would follow Summer. So good evening, Paige. Good to see you. So, that's my thoughts on that before we get into this. Oh, whoopsie, sorry. I hit my ringer on. So that's what we're looking at tonight. And I kind of fast forwarded through to a part where they're going to do like an intro. Let's see. And the title of this is No One's Been Rolled Out. And let me get it up on the screen here. And there we go. Sorry. All right. So where is Summer Wells? This is their thumbnail. I like the thumbnail. Candus didn't want to be on camera, so that's why you kind of see her face is blanked out. So she was really upset about being on the camera in part 1. Now you're going to see her kind of warming up. And in my opinion, I think Candus was intoxicated. Now, again, I'm not trying to shame anybody. If she's at her house and somebody comes over and she's intoxicated, more power to her. I don't care. That doesn't bother me. But she doesn't have emotion, in my opinion, when she talks about Summer. And that's a problem for me because it makes me feel like she cares more about what the YouTubers think or if she's on camera or going to be shown on YouTube than she does about finding Summer. So, um, but Mike is fuzzy. Mike is fuzzy, Lady Free. Oh, thank you very much. Sorry, I was like, oh wait a minute, hold on a second. You know what? I've tried to anticipate this. Let me change it. How does that sound, guys? Thank you, little Miss Sharon. Oh, goodness sakes. Sorry, guys. I appreciate you letting me know. Hey, Sharon Marlowe. Good to see you. So I hope that's better. So we're gonna watch this. And again, this is a part 2 on my end, a part 3 on their end. We went over the 2 parts of their interview. So the bulk of the interview was the last time we were live.
I do know
About this subject. Sorry.
how to talk or question. I know what questions are relevant, I believe, and Sheila as well. But Sheila and I say old country boy or a good old boy.
It's still really crackly. Oh jeez. I am crack-a-lacking tonight. Awesome. I don't know why. How is this one? Is this one going to be better? You could just put a thumbs up if you guys say, or thumbs down. Hopefully it's a thumbs up. Um, I don't know. I'll just keep talking so you can tell me. Hello, Detroit. Good to see you. I'm sorry if it was cracking the whole time, guys. I apologize. I thought I fixed the problem, but apparently I didn't. Um, I'm trying to think of another creator who uses Restream because other people don't have issues with that. I wonder if Justin uses Restream. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to play this and hope it's very crackly still. Really? All right, hold on. Okay. All right. How is that, guys? Is that okay? Hey, Shadow. Still not better? Oh my goodness. All right. Let me try to fix it again. I am so sorry about that. Let me try that. Okay. What about that? They had a what? Hydronic problems? Kiki? Oh my goodness. I did talk to my daughter today, so I made sure she was all good. Oh my goodness. Well, I hope they get home soon and safely. I don't know why these children want to go up in the air so much. They like up in the air activities, which I do not like those. So, is it better? Oh, thank you, Show Poodles. It's fixed. Oh, good, Jenny. I'm just babbling away. Okay, so thank you. Hey, Lolo. Thank you, guys. All right, great. Miss Sharon, thank you for the big stop signs because that helps. Like I'm like, oh wait, something's going on. All right. Thank you, guys. Okay. Hey, Brad. Okay, so let's try this again from the top.
Call it whatever you want. We call it whatever works.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Hold on. He said something before this. I didn't mean to cut. I'm trying to keep context, and
I don't try to act like I'm nothing I'm not. I don't try to be nothing special. I do know how to talk or question. I know what questions are relevant, I believe, and Sheila as well. But Sheila and I say old country boy or a good old boy, call it whatever you want. We call it whatever works.
Thank you.
Whatever works at the time, right, babe?
Yeah.
You know, one comment there that she says, I told them within 2 minutes of being there that we do a YouTube channel also. Mm-hmm. That's my quote. I said, we're retired, school teacher, police officer. We do a YouTube channel also. Mm-hmm. Her comment was, we don't do YouTube. We don't do YouTube. That's what Candus said. Go back and watch the videos. She said, we don't do YouTube. Well, that's not exactly true because, again, she's got at least one, possibly two. She's got Can, and then she's got another one I think says Fine Summer or something like that.
Candus Bly.
Candus Bly. Mm-hmm. But she said, we don't do YouTube. Guys, did y'all hear her say, don't put us on YouTube? I just told her that we also do YouTube, and she said, we don't do YouTube. She didn't say, well, don't put us on YouTube. We don't want to be on YouTube, or we don't. She didn't say that. She didn't say, we don't want to be on YouTube, or don't put us on. She said, we don't do YouTube. I put the verbatim, the quote there. You can go watch it.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Some people read in.
Okay, so she did say that they don't do YouTube, right? She's like, oh, no YouTube. Like, she was PO'd. Okay, everybody, the mood of the conversation, everybody got upset about the YouTube stuff, right? Right when they realized, even down to the private investigators who were on the phone, and then Candus brings down the boombox little, Bluetooth speaker or whatever. Hey, Ann Brock, good to see you. So, yeah. I mean, it's just like, I don't know. But, look, I think it's a good thing getting awareness out there, Yeah, they are, Kiki. I'm like, why is it that you flew someplace and now you're getting in a hot air balloon ride? I'm like, let's do activities that require you to be on the ground. You know what I mean? Makes me feel better anyway, because yeah, it is. But I did see your video too that you posted. I did a thumbs up on your video, so that's very cool. It's hard because we gotta let them do their thing. But it's nerve-wracking. But yeah, so with this, guys, it's just really sad because we still don't have any more answers. Don was very much talking last time about how it could be CPS or the Mexican mafia. He was bringing up, in cartel talks and things of that nature. Hello, Scranton Stringler. Good to see you. And also Kylie is here. Hey, Kylie's Nail Candy. So, yeah, it's very sad. I'm hoping that with a new sheriff, there may be some new interest and maybe even, a new set of eyeballs on Summer's case. Because, again, I don't think it takes... I mean, it takes a lot to convict, but I don't think it takes a lot to understand that Candus and Grandis were there. The dogs are going to alert if anybody's on the property. If somebody's hiding and lying in wait, the dogs are going to find them. That's what dogs do. They sniff people out, right? I mean, like, I'm not saying their dogs are like the greatest sniffer dogs and trained and all of that. I'm not saying that, but they're dogs. John and Candus give me deliverance vibes, in my opinion. Gail, I mean, I don't know. Like, here's the thing. I wouldn't go there. I mean, they used the buddy system, so that's a good thing. That's the first thing that is, a good thing to do is the buddy system. So, know some jealous man on my shirt called my son. Oh, hell, Kiki, I'd like to see that guy say that to your son's face. Okay. Oh my gosh. That is so amazing. Like, that takes a lot of strength and training, and oh my gosh. Yeah. But girl, people are going to hate. Haters going to hate. So it's interesting that Dawn and Candus, mainly Dawn, didn't really want to talk about the possibilities of finding Summer. It was more about CPS or DCS in Tennessee, right? And then about the Mexican cartels and mafia, and about how they're all in cahoots and they stole all of our kids. And then Candace, like, don't put me on YouTube, and throwing a fit up, having a fit up her ass about getting put on YouTube. Just to recap part one.
To things, and they add their own wording, because Candace said she was tired of YouTube. Somebody on there, a YouTuber, said Candace says she's tired of YouTube. That's not what she said. But if you'll put the quotes up there, the speech text. Mm-hmm. When she says that, she says that she's tired of YouTube. If you do the speech to text, it says, we're tired. I'm tired of YouTube. She didn't say she was tired of YouTube. Mm-mm. She said she's tired of YouTube. She didn't say nothing derogatory against Sheila and I.
No,
she was very kind, very nice to us. Until the phone call, she had no problem with taping. She had no problem with the conversation. She was sitting there, went and got us a pop. She was very kind.
And a bracelet.
One YouTuber, she says, they cut something out right there. I wonder what they cut out. Well, it could have been many things, because Mr. Don, anytime there was a gap, he would go straight back to CPS. Mm-hmm. The children's being kidnapped, and that's his prerogative, that's his belief, that's his opinion. Right. He's welcome to that.
Sure.
And so we did cut some of that out, because I figured that the people had heard it enough. We left it in there several times, 3 or 4 times, that we left in the first and second video, and we cut some of them out. So it was way more than just a few times that the people saw it. So that's one of the things that was cut out, is where Don was repeated over and over his feeling about CPS kidnapping children. We cut out Candace's bad words. Mm-hmm. We didn't want to show her in a bad light any more than she wanted to be in a bad light. Mm-hmm. So, this is not something Fred and Sheila was trying to make her look bad, or a YouTuber. We said from the beginning, you'll probably be surprised at our video, that's not us. We're from a different cloth. We don't do that. Well, remember this video that's coming up here, part 3, you're getting ready to see. You'll get to see maybe what we were cutting out. We cut out where I asked Don about a criminal charge, and he said it was bad and didn't want to elaborate. Mm-hmm. That's what he said. Mm-hmm. Now, I didn't want to put that in here. I didn't want to talk about that. But I asked him about a criminal charge, and he said no, he didn't want to discuss it. And I think it was, I could be wrong. I won't even comment. Yeah. But I'm not sure that it was even pertaining to him.
Right.
But he said no, we don't want to go there.
So kept shaking his head. So and when I say I've got to edit the video, that doesn't necessarily mean I'm gonna cut anything. It could I do the thumbnails on that, add the music,
the disclaimers,
the title, thumbnail, whatever. Yeah. That's what I mean by editing.
Yeah. We
and for me, with the editing and everything like that, that's how I do things. I try to keep the context. If I edit a video or something like that, I do try to keep the context, because context does matter, and I would like to be kept in context too, if I'm saying something, and that sort of thing. I would like to see the raw video, but that's just me, I want to see it. And he did. I watched Smiley earlier. She's so funny, and she's very correct on a lot of things, and I agree with her on a lot of things. But yeah, no, it's one of those where it's one of those things where look, they don't understand the case. And so that's difficult, especially coming into a 5-year long case, knowing nothing about it and being a YouTuber, right? And they're very popular YouTubers, right? Because a lot of people watch them and review them and that sort of thing. So, yeah, and people told me about Jody Sue. They're like, don't, she's not part of it or anything really. Like, she's not a big deal. People were telling me that. But of course, I do my own research on things. If I thought that I had to look closer into her, I would have, but I didn't. Especially because a lot of people are like, she's kind of. I think a lot of people were like, she's not really a reliable source and that sort of thing. Now, I haven't proved or disproved that. But yeah, that was really funny. And I wasn't around for a lot of YouTube stuff either. Just, being honest, I mean, I definitely followed Summer Wells's case, but did you? Yes, I did. Yes. She's so funny. I love Smiley. She cracks me up. Hello, YouTuber is here. Good to see you. Sheila and her husband seem like a lovely couple, Brad says. Yeah, I mean, I think I like listening to them, right? And I mean, like I said, it's hard coming into a case like this. I can't imagine. And really, I mean, I did in a way because I did start covering Summer's case. Which a lot we cover Sebastian a lot, but and really again, their stories are very alike when it's the parents are there, they're the only ones there with them, and then all of a sudden poof, the kid goes missing, they're just gone. The parents tell us they're just gone. It's like, what do you mean they're just gone? It drives me bananas. So, but yeah, the research has to be, Gail, good Lord, do these two do any of the research before they approach people, or just go in with the blinders on? Just wow. See, and I would be wanting the full, the full rundown, the dossier. I'd want to look at, who I was going to talk to. But everybody does things differently and maybe a different approach. But I will, I will say, I did, before I spoke on Summer, I talked to a lot of people, and and that was back when Hey Jude was my manager, and she was gathering people up for me to talk to specifically about Summer's case, and so that was a really great thing because I was able to talk to people who had been in the weeds, in the thick of it, when things were going down on YouTube. Excuse me, because I still haven't watched all of, like, Josh's, for instance, for Josh from the lab, and maybe we should do a review of Josh reviewing Summer, or talking about Summer, or maybe when Dawn called in, oh gosh, talking about peeing our pants because we're laughing so hard. Dawn. But the fact of the matter is he acts really ridiculous, and that's the person that we've become to know about him. Like, he said some really off comments, Hey Sabrina, good to see you. So I mean, it's just, he's a weird guy. Hey love, mama love. He is a definite weird guy. This Don. But again, I would want to do I'd want to know everything about, which they'd have to do like at least two weeks of solid research where they just watch everything. It's a lot.
Wanted this video in its entirety. We wouldn't care to take this video and just put it out there all at once, but it was an hour and a half or more long. And it wasn't about editing. Again, she has to put the music and the pictures, and Sheila likes to do things. My videos, I just throw them up there. I'll take my phone, take a video, and load it up from my phone. I don't care about none of that. Sheila's not like that. Sheila's what's that, OCD?
Yeah, I'm a little OCD on things.
A lot of OCD.
Oops.
Sometimes, guys, I say, I agree.
Hey,
he would
Sonia.
say something, or she would say, and I agree. Don't mistake that with being an investigator or in whatever you want to call it, interview.
Exactly. Videos of Don being particularly disgusting. Exactly, Sonia. Oh my goodness. Let me get a purple background. I just realized we didn't have a background on there. Oh my gosh. Yeah, he was being very gross on a lot of those. And he was very gross when he was just talking to people regularly. Um, it was just really, really awful. Um, so, and I think those are worth remembering, even though he is really disgusting. Here, this is more like a little princessy font. Um, because poor Summer, she just had such a horrible environment, and that's me being like really nice about that. Yeah, the toilet conversation. Exactly, Detroit. Oh my god. Oh my god. It was like, really? Oh my gosh. So, Kramer from Seinfeld needs to bring him a bro lordy. Gail. Well, and I'll tell you, it's things like that you can't unsee or not remember, right? Like once you've heard or seen him do things like that, you can't just be like, "Oh, it never happened." Right? Because it is particularly disgusting. Really well said on that. Um mm.
Viewer,
Mm-hmm.
don't that doesn't necessarily mean I agree with everything somebody says. It means I'm agreeing to agree with them right then for that video. So there was things that was said that I may not exactly agree with, but again, we're there on a finding venture. We're trying to see what we can find out. So just because a person says I agree or so forth like that may not mean that I actually agree. It just means I'm going along. And sometimes as an investigator, you do that to get on to the next step and move on with the investigation. All right, guys, this is going to be our last video with the interview.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll watch the video and
Yep.
then maybe say a couple of remarks at the end if anything else comes up. But
Mm-hmm.
thanks for your comments. Thanks for watching. Anybody's welcome to share these videos, guys. We're not those YouTubers that care. We don't get that many views. We don't make no money from Google and YouTube. Is enough to be worried about. Like I said, it wouldn't pay for our.
Okay, so again, I excuse me. I really very much appreciate the fact that Fred and Sheila don't mind if people use their videos, and I'm the same way. I mean, it's getting the information out there, and anytime that people talk to or interview parents of missing children, it's important. It's very important to get that awareness out there as well. And people are going to make up their own minds. Unfortunately, sometimes you can tell people something over and over and over again, they're still never going to get it, so it's a waste of your energy, and focus. In my opinion, that's the way I look at it. Hey, Christmas Swan, because we're always good, all of us are going to say things that people may or may not agree with. So, but buckle up, here we go.
Our gas to Tennessee and back, and the damage we done to our bus getting there. Here we go, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Here's the video.
Oh, shoot. Well, there we go. And ad revenue is always good. That's how honest YouTubers make it.
And I'm just so tired.
We've had thousands
Of
of
thousands of people come up here and blame me for something I've never done to my child.
Yeah. We can understand that.
No, you don't understand. You know that I've been blamed for my best friend's death even to
No.
this day?
No.
It's okay.
Okay, so right there, guys, this is why I think that Candus is intoxicated. She's definitely slurring, and it's gotten progressively worse, right? But she keeps going inside the house, so I'm thinking she might be like, drinking. So, which is again is fine. But then she starts talking about her best friend's death and things like that. Again, anything not to talk about Summer. And did they catch her on, a bad day? Maybe. Yeah, sure. But it doesn't really matter because look, the exposure that they get on their channel will get awareness out about Summer. And you would think that that would be welcomed by um, Don and Candus. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead. I did like a customization on this, so I apologize, guys. I'm just going to put it back to normal, I think. That way we can make sure we see all of Don's facial expressions. So, okay, here we go.
Listen, Donnie,
No, it's not okay.
it's been great.
I appreciate you all.
It's been a
God
great
bless you
visit
guys.
with you.
Yeah.
And we're going to leave the pop. I'm going to take the bracelet.
No, I want y'all to take
I
the
don't
pot,
want to take
too.
your pop.
We
That's
got
okay.
plenty.
I have plenty.
Life before CPR.
And then also, guys, I just want to point out again, just because it's funny to me, I'm sorry, guys. I do just like to point out little obvious silly things like this. But Don's shoes, he doesn't have, he has two different shoes on, and it makes me laugh. So, I mean, obviously, I would laugh at myself if I had two. If I had two separate shoes, but hello, Okie Granny. Oh, Deception Detective has awesome videos. He does. I always like to review his videos. I played one the other night with from Sebastian's case, but you're right. And also the last time that we talked about Summer, I made that extra video. That's what I was talking about. I didn't make one this time. That would have been a good follow-up to this one though. But now this is just kind of like where they're wrapping things up too, because this is their part 3, which I think is interesting. But of course, I have to point out that Don's wearing two separate shoes that are like toe up from the floor. Hello, all that is unseen. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yes. Can Ahmad drop the link to Fred and Sheila's channel? Of course, I could drop it too. I will drop it right now. I think they do a good job. And here's the thing, not everybody's gonna have the same approach. Here, I will just share it in another window. Actually, I forgot I have to open it in another window. I'm not sharing the actual video. Yeah, I mean, I think that the yard speaks for itself, right? Because they're going to pan over, and I mean, there's stuff everywhere. And again, it's not about anything relating to their financial situation whatsoever. It's the fact that we saw the house was under construction or being remodeled, right? That's what they said, 5 years ago, and it looks worse. There's a lot more clutter and stuff around. Again, we have to keep in mind that CPS or DCS in Tennessee showed up at their house about 24 hours before Summer was reported missing, is what Don said, right? I think Summer was reported at 6:30 p.m. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe she was. So, hello, Deborah Dixon. The photo of Summer in the truck asleep or very sick was the kicker for me. She showed signs of cyanosis. I'm sorry if I say it, cyanosis. Sorry, in her nail beds, lack of oxygen, and I believe she passed away long after that, in my opinion. Oh, no, excuse me, not long after that, in my opinion. I agree with you. That photo is concerning for a lot of reasons. I think the milk jug in and of itself is an odd thing, just because it's super, super cold, and if somebody's sleeping, they would be sleeping on that. Her long sleeve shirt is also curious to me. Why they would take a photo of her doing that, I don't know. I do know sometimes kids get really, really tired and they conk out wherever they're at, but don't see Summer doing that. She's a little bit older than that to do that. You would see that more like in a toddler, in my opinion. There's just so much, and I wondered about the hot car, and things like that. Um, so Sabrina says I noticed that too. Yeah, yeah, Detroit. Detroit agrees. Oh, thank you, YouTuber. Thank you so much. So yeah. Mm, 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 mm. Hello, Miss Justice. Good to see you. I like your avatar. Yeah, it's just okay. So Don in his shoes. Have a good looking laugh at. No, I'm just kidding. At his silly shoes. Okay, but also pay attention. Well, I'll kind of stop it a little bit as we go because you will see a lot of like junk, and also like they have a party tent.
Life before CPS.
Okay. No videos of it. Okay. Well, there's
Okay, so maybe they're not going to show the tent again. They did in the first one. But you definitely see a lot of rubbish around, and the coolers and things like that.
Child.
Yeah. We can understand that.
No, you don't understand. Do you know that I've been blamed for my best friend's death even to
No.
this day?
No.
it's okay. Listen, Donnie.
No,
It's-
it's not okay.
It's been great.
I appreciate y'all.
It's been a
God
great
bless you
visit
all.
with you.
Yeah.
And we're going to leave the pop. I'm going to take the bracelet.
No, I want y'all to take
I
the
don't
pop,
want to take
too.
your pop.
We
That's
got
okay.
plenty.
I have
Donna.
plenty.
Jeez, Candace.
Life
Here,
before-
Candace, she's like, I got plenty. Jeez Louise, I mean, it just kind of went south really quickly. But again, here's a lot of stuff. The house just doesn't look like they've worked on it. In my opinion, it looks like a math situation that we have on our hands here. And that's my opinion. And in my opinion, CW never explains fully as to why she dressed Summer in that tracksuit. I mean, it was so hot that day, YouTuber. I think that's a good way to put it too, a tracksuit. Because yeah, it was a cute little pink tracksuit that she was wearing, but it didn't look like weather appropriate at all. Um, did Candace say she was blamed for her best friend's death? Did I mishear that? Yeah, yeah. No, you heard it correctly. She said, "I bet." Did you know that I was blamed for my best friend's death to this day? And Don's like all awkward and everything, like oh, kind of looking around like this is how she gets, I mean, it's like, oh my God, really? So yeah, I don't know what that's about, Lover Girl, because that's the first I've ever heard of anything like that. And she's like, did you know? And I'm like, I didn't know that, And I mean, again, I talk to a lot of people that talk to a lot of their people, right? Because I wanted to get a really good idea because I know how important it is to everybody that has followed Summer on YouTube, right? So I don't want to go on YouTube and talk about Summer's case without knowing my shit. Okay. I mean, I was really nervous to take on Summer's case. I really was. So I don't know. Her best friend? I don't know who her best friend is. Wasn't that supposed to be her first day of school outfit? Oh, Sonia, maybe so. Maybe so. Yeah, Christmas Swan, isn't that something? It was to be her first day of school clothes. Aw, little Miss Sharon, that is so heartbreaking. Aw, golly. Also reminds me of the Watts case, when they were supposed to start school, and that's what he even said. They were gonna start school, but like It's like, what do you mean? How do you know they're not coming back to start school? Like, oh my goodness.
CPS.
Okay. No videos of it. Okay. Well, dear, there's really.
I mean, we
I'll
might
give you
want
a couple, but
She doesn't want you to see.
Okay, you take your time.
She'll pick the ones.
pictures on the
Take,
hold on a minute.
take your.
Damn, Candace. Okay, and she's acting indignant. And it's like, I don't know. It's just so strange. Hey, girl, mom, too. Good to see you. I mean, it's just so strange how Candace acts. I have to say, because she is like pulling them in and pushing them away, pulling them in and pushing them away, type of a thing, right? Like it's like, I'll show you pictures. Wait, no, I'll show. Just get away from me and let me get the ones I want to show you. Which I mean, I'm not saying that she's not entitled to show which picture she wants, but it's just weird how she's like baiting them and then no, get away from me, kind of a thing. Don't video record me. And she's all upset about it. So I never thought about the wrong season of the tracksuit covering skin discoloration. Maybe, in my opinion, yeah. Well, that too. I mean, we just don't know what kind of a day she had or what was going on. And I don't know that we've ever gotten a real reason why CPS was there, but I'm here to tell you some of the things that people were telling me about the things that happened to Summer were horrible. Like, very disgusting, horrible things that were allegedly a part of Summer's case. And then we hear her father, Dawn and Candus. No, Don, we hear him come out and do the most atrocious interviews. Candace was doing weird shit with Chris McDonough. She just was. I mean, we were all like, what the because I did see that. I might not have been on YouTube back then, but I definitely saw the Chris McDonough interview and I was like, what is happening? So it's like, I donated so much money to them losers buying shirts for cow ladies and seeing Don on the toilet doing dope. Oh, God. Taking a dump. Oh, my Lord. Sabrina. Oh, my goodness. That was so dumb. No, you're not dumb. Oh, my gosh. I have to highlight this comment. It's okay. This is the Don that I have come to know. And I mean, this is multiple sources, guys, and it's people that really care. It's people that really care about Summer's case. That's what I mean. Like, again, I really wanted to do justice by it because there's just so much fuckery, you know? But seriously, Don chilling on the toilet, taking a dump, where everybody's watching, like, are you serious? And these people are not, we'll just say they're not up to par. So, which, I mean, I'm not saying that's lost on Fred and Sheila. I'm sure they know that. Um, I would think, especially once you see the list of things that they, in their history. So, yeah, and the things that they joke about are sick. Well, that's what I mean, Miss Justice. You're right. And it was like, so it was like the comments that were made. Even I can't remember the exact quote, thank God. That Candace said at the water hole to Chris McDonough, and it was like so gross. And I was like, why would she say that to this guy? Like, what? So the interview room with Chris was like watching the creation of a story, not retelling events, in my opinion. Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I mean, look, she was showing him around. She was being very cordial, very open with him. But like, they look at Chris McDonough's interview as a negative, but he wasn't trying to make them to be in a negative light, in my opinion. Like, what would I do, I think, to myself if I was the one that was being invited to go into the dungeon, right? And like he's very gracious, graceful. He's very graceful. He does a good job. I mean, I couldn't have done a better job, and I would have. I don't know if I would giggle and you know, I would blow my cover then, because honestly, I'm just that way. I'm a silly person, and if somebody wants me to do something utterly ridiculous, I'm probably going to start laughing hysterically and not have, and not have any way to control it. Like, you want me to go and do what and go down? You want me to go down there? Oh, I don't know. I don't think I'm dressed for dressed for it at the moment. Can we not? Is there a different way in? Oh goodness. It was about YouTuber Dee Dee that died while Candus. Oh, and her were all alone. Candus didn't call an ambulance or perform CPR. Oh my. Oh my. Oh, I've never heard that. Okay, Granny. Oh my. It was about a YouTuber Dee Dee that passed away while Candus and her were alone, and Candus didn't call an ambulance. Oh my. Ooh. Yeah, they don't seem to have the boundaries or the filters. That is very true. That is very true. Then Candace hung out with Dee Dee's husband when she was separated from Don and had a yard sale, selling Dee Dee's belongings. Oh, so that's why she's saying that she's still to this day getting. Wow. Well, thank you, because I had no idea. Wow. That is so terrible. Oh my God. Just out there selling her stuff? Well, that's not. Well, boy, oh boy. It just gets worse. It just gets worse. Wow.
Time.
Sorry.
It's all right. It's all good, guys. Listen, this ain't something that's easy for you all, I'm sure.
It's
Okay, so Candace has agreed to let us put Summer's pictures on YouTube, and she's going through them right now. Sorry, guys. I don't mean to continue to stop it every 2 seconds. Sorry about that. Oh gosh, okay.
Easy for you all, I'm sure.
it's been a nightmare.
I'm
A
sure.
living nightmare.
There's nobody can
See, that's
criticize
one
you.
of the things. It was so bad up here.
What's that old saying?
Police presence. I mean, half the country police force was here, descended here. And I went, took my Subaru down. I was going to go somewhere, and I got traffic was backed up all the way out both ends of Beach Creek. You couldn't even leave here. You couldn't go nowhere for days.
Wow.
People searching everywhere.
You think if she was around here, they would have found?
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Oh,
That's what we.
Yeah, she was definitely taken in a car. When the search dogs got here, we give them some of her clothes, the dirty laundry, and they went straight down the dog trail to the road down there, and then the dog lost her scent on that road down there.
Wow.
How long?
So somebody picked her up in the car, you're
Yes,
thinking?
absolutely.
Or that's what I would think.
Oh yeah. If she wandered off by herself, the dogs would have found her. They would have picked up her scent and found her.
Well, your dogs would have followed her down the hill, though, because if they're going to follow Fred and Sheila down the hill, then they're going to also escort Summer. And the dogs don't leave the little kids like that. They don't just leave them to get into their own danger or anything. I mean, there's only so much the dog can do, I suppose. But hey, Witchy. So yeah, it's just sad. Awesome, Detroit. Girl Mom 2 says the high school class got TBI to come in and help them, and is it Leslie Earhart came and spoke with them. Well, and it just seems like they've done investigating, but not. It's almost like they don't want to solve it. I hate to say it like that, but it's almost like they don't want to solve it. It's like, but they did extensive searches around, Thanks for reading that, Lady Freedom, because I didn't translate the comment. No, it's okay. Yeah, no, it's all right. I know it's like they have to put all these disclaimers in because Candace is going back and forth and Don's just sitting there like, it's fine. Everything's good. Just go ahead. If you're going to film, I know you're filming. I see the microphone, blah, blah, blah. The whole 9 yards. But then Candace is sitting there coming apart and then coming back together and then coming apart, So it's hard for them to tell. Yeah, exactly. He never misses an opportunity to make an appearance either. Miss Justice, that's true. At least we can give him that much. Don never misses an opportunity to blame someone or preach. Exactly. Well, and he talks a lot about God too, and all of that. And I'm like, oh gosh, if he says I guess we'll see her in the resurrection again, to Fred and Sheila. I'm like, oh, I wonder what they're gonna think of that comment. Don is very manipulative. Very manipulative. Candus is too, but she's more outwardly manipulative. Don is more sly about it, even though I don't think he's smart. No, I don't. But Candace will, be very outward with her manipulations as he's very sly.
How long do you think she was missing before you noticed she was missing?
Well, Candace helped her mom put her knee brace on and then come in the house. And like, where's Summer? Well, she went downstairs. Well, she's hollered for her and she's nowhere.
Okay.
She's gone.
And the police
Somebody come up here and led her by the hand down the dog trail. According to the search dog, it went straight down the dog trail.
And the police talked to the 3 boys, I'm sure.
Yes.
And they told them the same thing.
Yeah, and that's when they started brainwashing them.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
But the boys told them that Summer come up, wanted to go downstairs and play. She went downstairs and played, and that's the last time they saw her.
Yeah, the boys were the last one.
Is that right, Candace?
Yeah.
I see you shaking your head. Correct me if I'm wrong, dear. If I say something that's not...
Pictures you can share with them.
She's probably...
I want people to see life before...
She's probably reminiscing over there.
Yeah.
Each one of our kids had a motorcycle. Well, I'm not sure. Each one of the boys had a motorcycle.
Yeah, sounds like
That's
me.
cool.
The littlest one had a...
All right. Well, I mean, it is cool that they have a motorcycle, but here's the thing. YouTuber, yeah, really. Exactly. Oh my gosh. It's like, okay, but they need love, they need attention, they need a safe environment, right? And there was a lot of partying and very nasty things going on over there. Like things that I don't even want to imagine that was happening over there. And there's just so much in this case. But I think that's a good comment that they keep trying to bring it back to Summer, but you'll see them go away from the conversation. Now they're going to get some pictures of Summer.
Is it okay if I put these on camera, Candace?
They've already been out there, so it don't matter.
Okay, thank you. Oh, look how sweet. No wonder you're...
Now, Candace got to take her everywhere.
Oh, good.
Thank God. I worked all the time, but she got to take them out all the time. We're just as happy as can be. We had to cut her hair off. And she whacked it off at one time.
Kids will do that when they're young like that.
And you know, we had to whack our heads off.
All right, guys. Now I don't know if it's because there's been a lot of speculation on Summer's hair, but there's multiple pictures of Summer with really, really short hair, like the one that I have, and she's beautiful either way. It doesn't matter. That stuff doesn't matter. Hello, Holly. But what matters is that that's the first thing he justifies, right? Well, we had to cut her hair off. She hacked it off. Oh, let's blame her. It's like, wait, which one is it though? You guys had to cut it for what reason? Oh, she did that herself. Okay, blame Summer. Sound familiar? Blame Sebastian. Blame Summer. Girl Mom 2 says the TBI agent said that usually on these cold cases that when someone dies, more comes out because people aren't scared anymore. But I feel like that's what they wait for, and then there's no justice. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It does help, but there's been a lot of people that have passed away in this case too. and I just hope that they can maybe re-question people and reinvestigate with a fresh set of eyes. Is I don't know if they will, but I agree with you. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, um, it's a scary thought that they would wait for something like that to happen because we have no time frame on that, fortunately and unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, my goodness, it's crazy. I just feel like there's so much more that they could have gathered in the beginning and they didn't. Hey, Cinderella. So, that is really something that sticks out to me. And it's odd because do I trust DCS? No. And of course, with Sebastian's case and everything that we've talked about there and everything we're still processing with all of that information, I can't disagree with Don that there's corruption in the system, but it's really tough because every time Fred and Sheila do try to bring the conversation back to Summer, they don't want to talk about her, and it's so sad. It's just really, really sad. See, that's what I was thinking, Sonia. I think a couple of times it was lice, but she had lice and she did it to herself. She wanted short hair like Candus, just a few of the answers given. Yeah, and see the okay, oh great, thank you for clarifying. I mean, like I think it could have been that too, just the environment and stuff like that. And then sometimes kids do pick up lice from school and church and different events where there's other kids. I mean, that happens, but um my mom gave me a bowl cut because I couldn't comb the back of my head. Aw, kids do stuff to their hair too. My sister notoriously cut her bangs off. I've done that too. I cut my bangs away. It just I was like, I don't know what the heck I was thinking. My mom was all mad. Why'd you do that? I was like, I don't know. I wanted bangs. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so and that's another thing. She could have done it. There's a darker side too that I feel like if she did cut her hair, maybe it was because people were bothering with her, and I don't know, just oh gosh, it's just there's so much. There's so much. And you know, they wouldn't allow for Fred and Sheila to even scratch the surface, which I'm not saying that there wasn't some moments in here where there were a couple of slip ups and things like that, but oh my goodness, it's just terrible to think what she went through, you know? So, and lice does make sense. It does. Yeah. Aw, thank you, girl mom too. We'll have to do a panel sometime for Sebastian. You've done such an amazing job spreading awareness for Sebastian and all these sweet kids who need awareness. Aw, thank you, girl mom too. I feel so bad because again with Summer, it's been 5 years and it's like, when are they gonna get their crap together? And then Sebastian, again, I guess it just takes time. The boys didn't have, but thank you so much, girl mom. That is so sweet. Miss Justice says the boys didn't have shaved heads when Summer did. Their hair was growing out. Yeah, well, and even when I had a hairstylist on the show who was talked about Summer's case and has been on Crime Lines and Lies, um, she said that wasn't, quite normal, and how you could tell that her hair was in different stages of growth and also at different ages of her own growth. Her hair was like short a lot of times. um and then also there could be a dark reason for that as well. If you get what I'm saying, like, oh god, it's just terrible, terrible, terrible. It doesn't make sense for lice though. Does their head douse their head in olive oil and then comb it out? Yeah, I mean, and look, it really could be anything. And they just leave stuff the way it is, you know? So, well, great girl, mama. I have your email. I will email you. Yeah, that would be awesome, right? Because you're so knowledgeable too on the case, and I just think it's so difficult. I'm trying to hammer down this timeline, and I'm wanting to go back to 2022. When everything started in September, but it's been tough. But with this filing, it'll be easy to kind of fill in those gaps. Oh no, Cinderella! She's she says I was playing hairdresser, and I cut my cousin's beautiful ponytail off. I mean, it happens. I cut all my Barbie's hair off. I'd be like cutting it. She's gonna have a short haircut. She's gonna have because in the '80s there was like all the cute little short haircuts that girls were wearing. So I was like, she doesn't need long hair, like I'm like, damn, it doesn't grow back. In this interview, they shame DCS. They do, or they blame the DCS. They do, and the Mexican mafia. And I was like, oh God, cornbread mafia, Mexican mafia. Stop blaming the mafias. I don't think they're involved. And forcing me to stick up for the mafias and the cartels. They wouldn't do that. It's like, okay, I guess they would do that, but I mean, it would be hard again. It's just the fact of like the location where they live, and the fact that those dogs are on people, right? The dogs are very friendly, it seems like, but I would imagine if you piss one of those dogs off, I mean, those are some big dogs. And now they had a lot of dogs. They've always had a lot of dogs, so. But I wish there was a way to cross reference questions and answers in all of the interviews on YouTube. Same questions from different creators. Yeah, yeah. And Don's responses, catch them out, or yeah, with their own words. It would be so easy. It would. I mean, it would be hard because I'd have to find the clips, but it would be easy with these two because I caught Candus in a bunch of crap when I I did. I think it was only a live. I don't think I did a video though. Maybe I'll have to do one. It's but I did it in live streams where I was just like, well, I used to upload the videos back then. But anyway, it was before I had a laptop and stuff, but yeah, it's interesting though, right? Because they say one thing to one person and something completely different to someone else. They're calling in, and sometimes they were on substances, and that's not reliable. I mean, but sometimes it's kind of like truth serum, though. Um, I've always said that the DA needs to hire me on Sebastian's case. Yes. Well, girl, mom, you're just too good to work for the DA around there. I mean, look at Jenny Smith over there, assistant DA. She was so involved. We find out about how she was involved in Sebastian's case. It blows my mind. Um, Girl Mom 2 says, I have listened to it every day for 2.5 years. I mean, I'm right there with you. And I think there's so many people, like, even people will be like, I never followed a true crime case before, but I just decided, to follow Sebastian's case. And it's wild. I can't believe it's taken this long. Um, it's just crazy. But yeah, I think you're just you're too smart. But no, yeah, because I mean, what are they doing over there? You'd have to whip them into shape. It would just be probably like corralling cats over there. Oh my goodness. Hey, I hate to side out with DW, but once you have a DHS negatively in your life, and if by chance the wells really aren't involved, you see DHS as the devil enemy of what you love. Oh, yeah, 100%. My PTSD. Well, and the thing is that we hear about horrible experiences with DHS, like you're saying, CPS, DCS. We have DCAF, DCYF. Yeah, DCYF. Um, in Harmony's case, Harmony Montgomery, and she's still missing. It's unbelievable. It's like all these different agencies, right, that are state agencies that are supposed to be child protective services, right, where they come in if they're needed. And it's okay. I understand things from two sides of the coin. I really do, my PTSD. So yeah, don't feel bad about that, because girl, I'm right there with you. It's like I understand why he's negative against them too. And who knows, maybe he's just sticking up for Candus. He's talking about how he had all these alibis. Oh gosh, there's just so much with this, So yeah, it's shitty. Well, and again, they are very corrupt. And a lot of times too, they take kids out of the household, and it can be a really bad household, like the Turpin kids, right? Where they were in a house of horrors. One of the kids got out, and she went for help and notified the police, and they found them like chained up and very malnourished, and you name it, they were just being tortured. And it was so, so sad, but they ended up in the system, of course. And they were sent out to horrible places where they were also abused there too. And it's just heartbreaking, and that's a result of them not really caring at DCF, in my opinion.
Because the boys come home from school with lies.
Yeah. When he said that, I kind of, with Sheila working, Sheila's a retired school teacher, and I kind of figured we've done that ourselves, hon. There's nobody out there that's...
Oh, look.
That's the only reason why her head was shaved and my head was shaved.
Oh, I love that
I
one.
took that one at church.
Oh, Lord, look at that.
Guys, y'all got to be broken. No wonder.
I was holding
Is that
her.
you?
Is that?
Yeah. She was screaming so loud I was piercing my ears.
Look at that. Well, she's got pretty eyes.
She does. Beautiful.
Daddy's eyes.
See, I think when DC was up here, they just fell in love with her, and they just had to have her.
Yeah.
She's
Big
a beautiful
money.
kid.
That's $60,000.
She's beautiful.
That's a big $60,000 money sign to them bastards.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe he said that. Like, he took it all the way there again. That makes me wonder more if she was, T-rafficked, right? By oh gosh. It's just the things that he says are just unnerving. But yeah, he's alleging that DCS just had to have Summer.
Bless her.
Great pictures. Great pictures,
Look
Candus.
at that.
You and her with your tongue sticking out.
Oh, how old was she there?
Oh, no, I have to look at it.
She's sitting there in a little red outfit, and she's
She loved being at the
She was
beach.
4.5.
Oh, look.
Where do you, what's your occupation?
I do drywall.
Okay.
Oh,
I got a brother that does drywall.
look.
I was at the school.
Yeah. Now this here probably ain't long before she was missing, right?
Because we was getting her enrolled in school.
Oh, wow.
She was fixing to go to school that year.
The dentist office and the,
But
That's great.
Yes, I like that one there, too. That's a pretty one.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Millions of pictures she's taken. She got to spend good quality
I
time.
have over 80,000 pictures.
Well, she looks like a happy child.
Yeah.
80,000.
Looks like a happy child.
Very happy.
Over summer and all.
Let me ask you this, Donnie. I'm glad we continued our conversation. What was CPS doing here in the first place? What brought them up here?
Because somebody called and said, according to them, that we was giving
No,
the
that
kid.
bitch across the way,
Jody
you
Sue
call her.
Brown called them because they were on her ass over her mess up there, and she started saying stuff about us to get them off of her and put them on us.
Okay. But, I mean, do you know what the complaint was when CPS came? Did they say?
They said that we was giving our kids loaded guns to play with.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's what they said. I don't know. I don't believe anything CPS says because you should know as a police officer.
Just because they're wearing a uniform or carrying a badge doesn't make them honest. I'll tell you
Right.
They
that.
don't never tell the truth.
Well, I'm not going to say that about all because I was one myself and I tried to, but
Right.
I'm
not
saying,
saying you.
I know that, but I'm
Most
saying
of them lie.
anymore,
Yeah.
I'm disheartened in our police officers and law enforcement, and I'm disheartened.
I am too.
How much are you disheartened?
Very much.
So, I wasn't charged with anything.
Oh,
Nothing at all.
You were charged, but we got it all. They tried to charge us with a bunch of bull crap. We fought that. For years.
So there was a charge, but then it all got dismissed.
They got dismissed. Okay.
So why can't I not have my children back?
It's a good question, Adam.
We don't know that.
Well, probably because one's missing. Do you care if I ask what the other charges were?
I don't know.
No.
Don't want to put that.
They were bad.
Okay.
They were bad, but that's what they do to all parents.
Okay.
And sometimes they're successful in getting them. Look, there's 3 to 4 suicides every year in Hawkins County Jail from fathers that have no hope of ever getting out of that place, never going to see their kids again, never going to see their family again, and they commit suicide in there because there's no way out of it.
Yeah.
That's the only way out. That's in Hawkins County. I estimate 3 to 4 every year. And you're not
Sorry to mess up your all's evening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you're good.
We're going to get out of here because we wouldn't have done that. We were so thankful when he come out and invited us up the hill because he was so friendly, and we thought, wow, this is. And then y'all have been great. You just have to watch our video and see what you think. If we do you an injustice, I'm sure you'll never talk to us again. If we don't do you an injustice and you like the way we cover things, then say, hey guys, come back. We want to go show you around.
Well, what are you trying to cover for real?
We're trying to find. They're trying to do their part. And
We're just in the area. We had to come up here on some other stuff, and we thought, well, Sheila's been crazy over this over a little summer. Sheila's been crazy.
That's my daughter.
I know that. And Sheila has really, when she saw those pictures, she'd say, let's go look for Summer. Let's go look. And I'd say, babe, look at the YouTubers. Look at the people that's there. They don't want to talk to nobody.
So I want to know if you guys are fucking involved with Ernie Shales.
We don't know Ernie Shale, dear. I've never heard that name. I don't know if that's somebody I should know.
He's one of them crazy YouTubers that started a lot of drama for us. He snuck up here in the middle of the night.
God.
Ernie Shale, I will remember
I got a whole
that.
story to tell you about that motherfucker.
We will.
If you want to...
Don't waste your time. He's just one of them crazy YouTubers that cause problems.
I'm going to tell you this right now. Yet, this morning, squeaky, smelly bitch, Ernie, claimed that he spoke to me and Donnie yesterday, and he's a lying bastard.
And he said that today on YouTube?
He said that on Brooks Crime Live today that he talked to me and you yesterday.
He's caused us a lot of trouble.
Okay.
He's just one of many that's caused us a lot of trouble.
Just one.
We had one following us around everywhere we went for a long time.
I got about 500 if you
We
want
went out to
hear
Arkansas because I couldn't even get a job around here no more. And I was out in Arkansas and he found us out there.
Wow.
Got me fired out there too. I've been fired from every company in this area.
Guys, it ain't that I ain't been fooled before.
You got that pointed at me.
No, it's pointing toward him, hon.
Mine's not.
It's pointing toward him. You're at a distance. I can see you there, but you're not in my frame.
Well, we don't care about all them crazy YouTubers and stuff. We care about, like you said, finding Summer, trying to figure out
Hey,
what happened.
wouldn't that be something, Candus? Wouldn't it be something though if somebody was to watch this video after 5 years, and they see you sitting there like you are, crying over your child after 5 years, still missing her, and Donnie talking like he is, and they say, let's say that Sheila and I don't suspect you two of nothing. See, let's say that we're not two people come up here to judge you without any evidence that you've done something wrong. And let's say somebody else, let's say you don't have nothing to do with it, and somebody that does have something to do with it says, hey, let's let Candus know that her baby's okay. And then they contact somebody, or out of the goodness of their heart, they say, hey, let's make this right. I know you believe in God. I know you believe in miracles.
Do you think that I'll be sitting here with tears in my eyes if I didn't believe in faith in God?
No, I believe you do. I'm talking to Donnie and say, I think a lot of people, that's like me. I believe in God, and
Do you know that I still believe that my daughter Summer is still alive somewhere?
Good. That's a good thought to have. That's a good feeling as a mother, because I think you would, if she wasn't, you would feel that, I believe.
Do you not see the pain in my eyes?
I see it.
Sure do. Sure do.
Because if y'all don't after today,
And I'm not here to judge you.
No.
We're not here to judge you. We're here to
It's
put
not
out there
us to do that.
that Summer is still missing, and don't give up on her.
she's still missing. Where the fuck are the real people that say they care about her?
Yeah.
Well, that's
Wow. Okay, so I wanted to play a little bit because I was stopping it quite frequently. So Candus is getting really nasty, in my opinion, with them. And again, kind of going back and forth. Very much blaming everyone but herself. And then she's saying, you better see how I'm grieving today, right? Like after today, you better know it. You know, again, it's just that mentality where it's like, I'm gonna get angry with you for not believing my bullshit.
And I'm not here to judge you.
No.
We're not here to judge you. We're here to
It's
put
not
out there
us to do that.
that Summer is still missing, and don't give up on her.
She's still missing. Where the fuck are the real people that say they care about her?
Yeah.
well, that's
I
what
don't
we're
know.
trying to find.
I don't know.
That's why they're doing it.
Maybe there'll be somebody show up on this channel
Now,
and
we
say,
know there's going to be a bunch of assholes up saying all kinds of rude shit.
we
already know
anything
that.
like that, we block them. We don't allow that on air. We
I got
don't.
a channel too, but I
Did
just
you
don't
really?
go on it too much.
What is it?
It's called Can.
Can?
Yeah.
CAN.
Nope.
Okay. We'll look at that.
Look at that. I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
we'll start following you.
I
No,
only do little videos of when we go out far to work. Other than that, I don't do nothing.
we're not here to judge nobody, guys.
But yeah, I believe, during the Biden administration when she come up missing, the DCS definitely had something that definitely had her taken from here. And they,
Okay, so here goes John without even being prompted. He's back on the Biden administration and that, they stole Summer away from the property. The Biden administration.
they could probably get about $60,000 out of her in adoption fees. And I'm sure of it, or who knows what they've done with her for sure, but they adopt these kids out all over the world. When they take kids from East Tennessee, they take them all to West Tennessee, and all the kids they take in West Tennessee, they bring back this way. We've learned that, and that's so that the parents won't be tempted to go.
Travel.
Yeah. So they really in the dog.
Listen, thank you for
Appreciate you
everything,
guys.
and I
God
appreciate
bless
you.
So sorry.
Thank you, Candace.
God bless you.
And
We'll
if you
pray
see
and that
something,
she's
if you
found.
watch the video and see something you don't like, if you would contact us, and Sheila will
What are you doing, man?
will edit it.
I'm gonna probably give you an SBA church book.
Okay.
An SBA church book.
This is a book written in 1830 by Ellen White, and what that is Revelation 14 talks about the first, second, and third angel's message. This is the third angel's message.
Okay.
The first and second being the Bible,
Okay.
the Old and New Testament. This is just as important as the Bible. It's part of the Bible. It's the rest of the story.
Huh?
It starts in 78.
Oh, do it. We'll smack it.
The destruction of Jerusalem.
You already got it.
I had a
All
cancer
the
on my
history
ear. See half my ear gone?
of what has happened
Yeah.
to
I had
modern
cancer,
day
skin
prophets.
cancer.
It's the final message
And
of
they,
mercy to the world.
they got most of it, they said, but
Of course.
I told them they should take them more of the year that didn't get it all. But, oh, I'm sorry.
Well, thank you. We very much
I'm
appreciate
talking to
that.
you.
Yeah, check it out.
Sure.
if it's not
Just don't get me.
anything.
Okay. Oh, no, I'm
if it's
going
not
this way.
scripture, if it's
I'm
not
going that
God,
way.
throw it away. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so he just gave Sheila a pamphlet. Just really, really awkward, in my opinion, especially with some of the things that have come out of Don's mouth, that he would be giving people pamphlets and acting self-righteous, in my opinion.
But it is. So.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Guys, thank you.
Why?
Well, she's going to turn hers on just to cover us while we're here, hon. Go
Well,
ahead,
just
babe.
cover him. Please don't let
No, okay, put it on me.
I'm gonna grab me some.
Here, I have one right here.
You may have just deleted. Okay, no, that's the second one. Ooh, I did delete one, but it wasn't the good one.
The lighter's in the house on the table, baby.
So do you want to come and look at this so you can show her? So that she can see it, so that she'll be okay with that.
Well,
That's that woman talking a while ago. I liked her. I don't know why she would care to.
She said not to
I
put
know
her in it,
everybody's-
so I'm trying not to get her in
I'd
it.
rather not have all that trash and stuff.
I can blur the background out.
He's done nothing. Candus, he's been nothing
Yes,
but
sir.
nice.
Like being on video.
He's been nothing but nice to us. I guarantee you, you're
I'll
going to be
blur it out.
satisfied when we do the video. I don't. He's nobody has said nothing.
They
Why
are.
would you worry?
Tired of people looking at it.
If you don't say nothing mean or wrong or incriminating, why would you care? I don't know you from Adam. You may be as guilty as sin, but I ain't going to cast a stone at you because I have no proof. I have no evidence. Why would I? You could say, Fred McCoy, you're a bank robber.
That's your last name before?
Yeah, I'm a
He's
McCoy.
a Hatfield and a
I'm Hatfield.
McCoy.
My great grandmother was Nancy Hatfield.
Wow.
My great grandfather was Asa McCoy.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm
So
really.
they got-
He's both.
So you're on both sides.
Yes.
Well, that's
He's
cool.
Hatfield and
I'm-
McCoy.
Buddy, thank
Hey,
you.
God
I
bless you
appreciate
guys.
you. Going this way. I'm going to turn it off. I always just I like to record when we get somewhere and when we leave. That way somebody can't say, well, this happened or that happened. That way there's no dispute. See, I'm over here on this side.
She's a stray.
Try to keep my head straight. Because
Well, I thought they was going to bite us at first,
No,
but
she's a stray.
get in your head.
you got a beautiful place up here. Man, you all got to be peaceful.
She's a stray, and then she got pregnant and had him.
That's right.
And then, yeah, but it's not really our dogs.
Well,
Well, it claimed you.
Yeah, they cleaned us.
thank you, guys.
God bless you all.
God bless you, pal. Hope it works out, Donnie. If you hear anything, give us a holler. And if you see anything on the video you don't like, let us know.
Ain't nothing I can do about it.
Well, we don't know. There is too, because we'll, huh?
You didn't take
Your pop with you.
I know I hate to take your pop.
No, that's your pop. I'll give it to you.
Thank you.
so much.
Well, willing. I haven't had RC forever, so I'll enjoy it.
Y'all take
Thanks, guys. Thanks for talking to us.
God bless you all. Hello, little doggy.
All right, guys. Now this is where you're gonna hear Sheila. You just heard her. She said, "Okay, come on, little doggy." You know, like there's the dogs are definitely following them.
All right, guys. We're going to put this at the beginning of the video. This is me and Sheila leaving Summer Wells' house after talking to Donnie.
Also, notice that they're barking. And a lot of them were barking last time.
And
Candus.
Candus. This will be at the main front of the video. This will be how we open up this video. This video is going to be lengthy, maybe in 2 parts. I'll tell you mine and Sheila's take. Who are we to condemn?
That's right.
Who are we to judge? We know there's a lot of rumors. There's rumors and things on everything you do in life. You could have a bank robber come into a bank and 5 different people would describe the bank robber description in 5 different ways.
That's right.
As a former police officer and
I agree with that, guys. We talk a lot about that here on this channel. We've said that, a bunch of times, and it's just, the facts of the matter, right? It's not like in our opinion. That's just how it works. We all experience things and perceive things differently. So we're all going to have a different experience and perception of an experience, even if it's a shared experience.
And Sheila, like she is, it's not our place to judge people. We judge on evidence. We judge on truth with proof.
That's right.
If anybody's got any proof that somebody's done something wrong, that's great. Then we don't care to share it. We did an interview with
Candus.
Donnie and Candus.
Candus.
And
Summer's parents.
a very informative interview, I feel.
Yeah.
Could we have been hornswoggled the whole time we've been there? We could have been. Maybe. We don't know.
Right.
We have nothing to go on. Sheila and I just now, we're slow in the Summer Wells case. We're just now starting it. We were in Tennessee on some other business.
Exactly.
And we thought we'd run by here and see if we could talk to anybody. And sure enough, they talked to us. Talked to us at length and in depth. And you'll see different mood swings, different
Oh, yeah.
personalities, which would be, guys, I'm not a psychologist. We didn't even stay at a Holiday Inn last night. But that would be traits, in my opinion, and Sheila's, that would be common for somebody that's lost a child.
Exactly.
Different personalities, different feelings. 1 minute mad, 1 minute
Yes.
reminiscing, 1 minute
Yeah.
and sad. So who are we to judge? Now, you guys watch the video and you can come up with your own conclusion. I don't think you're going to be able to come up with a conclusion on our video because we just don't think the proof or the evidence of any wrongdoing is there. Now, we can make accusations. Sheila did this at the beginning on her phone, but I'll grab one more video. And, all right, there's Gus the bus. That's what we're in.
Yep.
But video will start here, guys. Hope you enjoy it. Hey guys, that's going to conclude this video. Getting a lot of comments, some good.
Okay, guys. So we see this bus that they took in there, right? It's never going to make it up that hill. It's just never going to make it up the hill. And then also the dogs following them all the way down. Because the dogs, they know how to get back up there to the house. They're just making sure everything's good, right? And dogs are that way. And so to think that Summer would have made it down the driveway with no one knowing about it, completely undetected, I just don't see that happening. So again, this is going to be from Broadcastify. You would be en route to 110 Ben Hill Road off of Beach Creek. It will be the first residence, I think they meant to say, on your right, in reference to a missing 4-year-old. And we know that Summer was 5 at the time. So here we go.
Some bad, some neutral. It's sad. The main thing is it's a sad situation.
It really is.
That a person has to do a video on a missing child. That's very sad. Sad for everybody involved, especially sad for Summer, because we don't know where Summer's at or what kind of condition she's in or if she's even alive. You just never know about things like this. And sometimes if they are alive, what kind of conditions they're in. I mean, there's so many horror stories out there of people that has been recovered later on in life and some of the stories that they've told. So we do thank Don and Candus.
Mm-hmm.
We thank them very much for their hospitality and kindness.
Yeah.
We don't hold no judgment against either of them. We don't know what happened. We don't know who's responsible. Again, TBI says everybody's still a suspect. Nobody has been cleared, so that includes everybody. That's just part of police work. That's part of an investigation. That's part of CYA. And we hope they don't have anything to do with it. And we're certainly, like we've said from the beginning, we're not going to judge or point the finger at nobody. We went there basically, well, we went there on the spur of the moment, just on a whim, just because we felt we were supposed to go there.
Yeah.
And I mean, who else just walks up a hill and in a place where a child's come up missing and different things have happened, and we've got God with us. Some people says, "Oh, I'd be afraid," or we got God. God's in control. Mm-hmm. None of us are getting out of this life alive.
That's right.
So if you're scared of dying, you better get right with the Lord, because if you're right, we don't start living, guys, until we take that last breath. If you're a Christian, we don't even start living till we take that last breath here on this earth. So one thing Sheila and I are not afraid of is dying. That's just not one of our concerns. Sheila, what you got?
I just pray, we both do, that someone that knows something will come forward and finally tell what happened to Summer.
It's been long enough, guys. It's 5 years. It's been long enough. If she's no longer with us, send a note, send a letter, send something to the TBI. Let somebody know, FBI. Let somebody know, so they'll know at least whether we need to keep looking or what's going on.
Right.
It would be, I mean, that's the least a person could do. You can send it anonymously. You can send it, but give them some kind of information where they know that you're being truthful and it's just not a crank call and let people know, especially the parents, so that they will know. And hopefully it's a burden. Hopefully God burdens your heart to ever who is responsible. And that was our purpose in meeting with the parents. We don't know these two people and they don't know us. And some people said, well, you shouldn't have went there unannounced. You shouldn't have done this. Well, we took as good as we gave. We took a lot better than we tried to be nice and respectful, and
Right.
so it wasn't without taking some. I don't want to. These people have been through a lot, and we allow for that because we want to. We want to think that it's got to do with missing their children and stuff. And Donnie was just extra nice. And we think we treated them both with respect.
We tried to treat him fairly.
We did. We tried to. Now, we had questions. We had questions because, again, TBI says nobody's been ruled out. So, of course, we were inquisitive. Of course, we were trying to find out anything. Of course, we were trying to let him talk in case, people mess up. Sometimes people that's involved in something, they mistalk or misspeak, and maybe that's what we were there for, to see.
Right.
Maybe everything that he said or she said was right on the top shelf. It was just everything's correct and there's no deceit. There's no, and everybody can say, hey, rule these two people out. Let's look elsewhere.
Yeah, I just don't see that happening, And again, I'm not trying to be argumentative because I do appreciate what Fred and Sheila are doing, talking with the Wells and things like that. I just, in my opinion, I just don't ever see that happening. I don't think that Don or Candus wants to go to, back to prison, and that's more important to them than telling what they know, in my opinion. So I just don't ever feel like they're going to come clean, but they might at a certain point if they're forced to, like if there's information that is gathered and, puts them exactly where they need to be in order to, charge them formally. And I know a lot of us are praying for that every day.
Because they're not so naive that they don't realize that people's looked at them and made allegations against them, and some people still believe they may have had something to do with Summer's disappearance. See, to Sheila and I, it takes more than belief. We need proof. We need evidence before we start pointing the finger. Just like all these people that is pointing the finger, well, throw the first stone, as Jesus said. Cast the first stone. Are you really that? See, I'm not that. I can't do that. We can't. We don't have no. And we definitely don't want to go by comments on YouTube or Facebook and some of the things that's been said.
That's for sure.
We can't we can't thank them enough for talking with us.
That's right.
It was an experience. It was a memory. And we hope when Candus rests us up, that she looks back and looks at the video and she thinks, well, them two wasn't so bad after all.
Yeah. Yeah.
We tried to be fair and honest and nice, and we think we have. The last video had some words in it, and the reason why is because a YouTuber on their video had made a comment about seeing some splices, seeing where there had been some cuts. Well, the cuts was where we had taken some bad language out, most of them. In this video here, we didn't, you don't have that many cuts, and the cuts that was there was probably where Donnie was repeating about the Mexican Mafia and the CPS. Mm-hmm. And we knew, we're not saying that's not possible. We're not, that's his own opinion. But we knew that he had already spoke that many times, and we just didn't want to have to leave it in the video. But all right, guys, I'm gonna quit rambling here. It's been an experience for Sheila and I both. We're both, we're as bumfuzzled as everybody else.
Yeah. I will say this: what's done in the dark will be brought to the light.
Sheila has always said that, and it's always been proven factual. That's always been proven, and maybe people, somebody was involved with the video. Maybe somebody will see the video, and maybe that's what this video was all about. Maybe me and Sheila wasn't meant to find Summer. It's not always what we think in our minds.
All right.
We may have not went there to find Summer. That we don't know. We just go places and do things and talk to people, but maybe it was the burden. Put a burden on somebody's heart that sees this video or was part of this video, that if somebody was involved, that they say, hey, this is carried on long enough. What's that song Billy Graham always sings, Just As I Am, at the end of all of his services, and you start doing some soul searching and thinking to yourself, and maybe ever who's involved in this will say, hey, this has gone on long enough. I've lived this life for 5 years. I've kept this secret for 5 years. I've been
well, and I think there's a lot of people that do know. And I'm sorry, guys. I'm just doing something really quick behind the scenes here too. Yeah, discernment is not the same as judging. Well, and I think just for a lot of us that have seen so much, and I agree with you, Miss Justice. You're right. It's just a lot to take in. It is, especially somebody new to the case, right? But yeah, there are so many interviews that are even more on the serious side that they could gather a lot of information from, and I think they may change their minds a little bit as well on that. Not sure, PTSD, maybe she fell asleep tonight. Oh, Bo. Oh, I wonder if she's feeling okay. I'm telling you guys, every time I feel like I'm back to 100%, I start sneezing and my nose starts running, and it's just the weirdest thing. So yeah, I hope she's doing okay though. YouTuber. I think the young men with them that day Summer went missing know something too. Yeah, Hunter. I think so too, Gail. I think a lot of people know. Most definitely. Thank you, Witchy. And here's Summer's flyer. We got to keep spreading her flyer all around, Hey, fueled by Folgers and Jesus. Good to see you. Not the same dogs they had before. They're not. No, Okie Granny, I'm so glad you mentioned that. You're so right. Not the same dogs they had before. I think those were taken away when they went to Arkansas. I think I heard something like that as well. So hello, Eva Barenson. that means he doesn't have to work anymore. Yeah, I mean, I know people were kind of causing issues for him at work and stuff, but um, I don't know how true that is. I mean, if you're a good worker, most of the time, people are going to be like, I mean, that's your personal life, right? Just because you're a YouTuber and you're following a case, or just because you have a missing child, you'd think they'd even have that. I mean, I just think that it's not really credible. I've had some bosses that would probably be like, wait a minute, what? Who is this calling? you know, um, when they were doing Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, they bragged about having CPS reports of Sebastian. I said to them, the father can't show you. How can you? Yeah, really think they were set up, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I do know what you mean, Cinderella. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, nobody knows what's in those records. Um, they're super confidential, and they were also. I remember Seth saying that they were very much making sure he didn't share them with anybody, and could constantly contacting and bugging about it. So, uh,
Living on the edge for 5 years. I've been living a lie for 5 years, and it's time that I come clean, or and you contact if you need help, if you need an attorney, if you need representation. There's people that will help. There's plea deals that can be made. It's been 5 years. At this point, after this long, people's not really as much worried about punishment as they are just knowing. And sometimes without a body, or there's no way to prove a case. If a person comes forward, it's hard to prove without a witness that something happened. And it would just be out of the goodness of a person's heart, where before they leave this world, they're trying to make it right, and they say, Lord, I made a mistake. I want to make it right. Just like when we talked to was it Josh and Felicia? Was that his name? Josh. Maybe instead. I said Jason the other day.
Jason earlier, yeah, but I think it's
Jaden Spicer's parents. And after we talked to them, they went down to their attorney, and they started plea dealing and talking to turn themselves in, or she did. Guys, make it right. Like Sheila says, what happens in the dark will be brought to light. If you believe that, if you believe in God, you know it's true. Someday, pay for your sin here on earth, but maybe a prosecutor, maybe a good lawyer can get a hold of a prosecutor there in, what county is that? Hawkins County?
Hawkins County.
Hawkins County. Get a hold of the prosecutor and let an attorney wheel and deal with them and say, hey, we'll do this, we'll do that. We'll make Felicia. Felicia made a deal with, I don't know what the deal exactly was, but she went and showed them where she had put Jaden in a tote and buried him near where her mother had been buried. Make it right. Make it right. Get it behind you. Make a plea deal. Make an attorney, a prosecutor. People wouldn't hold it against the prosecutor. We just want to know where Summer's at and what happened. Thanks, guys. God bless y'all. God bless the parents. God bless little Summer.
Wow.
And hopefully, if she is still alive, she's not been mistreated. I would rather see her with Jesus. Sheila and I would, or I'll speak for myself. I would rather see her gone on to heaven than I would see her being abused or been mistreated for the last 5 years. That would be a terrible thought. There's worse things than dying in this world, and that's been mistreated or.
Yeah, I believe.
Oh, sorry guys, I was muted. So yeah, there we go. And I wanted to just kind of show, that part to you guys because we had started out. It was just the kind of ending of their meeting, all of them together. Um, Let me see if I can't pull in one of these others. I thought I did a video comparison on summer, another one I think I did, that I haven't showed before, just to kind of give us a little bit more details. Well, let me see here. And I think a lot of people um, find Summer's case to be somewhat mysterious in ways, right? How can all of these people be at the house, but nobody sees which way Summer went? They're alleging that she was kidnapped, although there's no, proof of that. Um, I thought I did one. Oh, see, that's the whole interview with Chris McDonough. So I don't really want to replay that one. I mean, it's still a good one. But I do not want to replay that one. I know Deception Detective. Let's see, Deception. All right, let's take a look and see what we have here. Because I think he's organized and has playlists, unlike myself here. Here we go. Here's Summer. See, that looks so nice. I need to do that. Okay, now this is the creepiest. Okay, now this is the one that I had showed before, the creepiest comments by, and we already went over that one. So I don't want to play that one. Sorry. I just pulled that in. Yeah, I find it interesting too, Witchy Mama. I always found it interesting. Don Wells and Chris Watts, and then CP and K, excuse me, CW. For some reason, I always think Chris Watts, Don and Chris. They're very similar anyway. But Don Wells and Candus Wells and CP and KP, right? Chris and Katie Proudfoot did a get together and chatted. Well, Chris has mentioned Summer Wells's case many, many times without being prompted within the same live stream. I really believe that they took a lesson out of their playbook, and then I can't remember who said it earlier, but they were like, they were, both of the kids were outside playing and poof, right? It's crazy. Let me see here, but yeah, you're so right. Then there's so many comparisons. Um, oh, there's a whole marathon. Okay. This is actually sick. Let's see. Busted. No, I just want Deception Detective. Okay. Let me see. Okay, so we're actually not that crazy for time here. So maybe we'll go ahead and watch some of this Deception Detective. He just does such a good job. Because this is a longer video. Um, an hour and 19 minutes, but I'd like to go over it because this is like some of the Dr. Phil stuff, right? Um, and of course, ew, there's Adam Montgomery. Bleh. Okay, so, but yeah, this is some good stuff right here, I bet, pertaining to, you know, what was going on in the beginning and how they've been analyzed by other people, right? Professionals like Dr. Phil.
When the FBI is doing hostage negotiations, they have 8 people listening to the phone call, all picking up different details, right? If you're trying to spot a lie in real time, you only have yourself to rely on. You don't have 8 other guys and ladies listening with you to point out stuff and catch different things.
Oh my God, it just made me think of that movie Ransom, where all of the people are in there and they're all listening in, right? All these individuals listening to catch different little nuances and different little things in the conversation that matter, right? They're all picking up in and keying into certain details. So, again, really great.
You have to catch everything yourself. So,
That's why I have to watch these interviews over and over and over again, because every time I do, I pick something new up that I didn't notice before, whether it's in their body language, their statement itself, their facial expressions, any of that.
The CIA calls it L squared mode. Everyone's got a term for it where you're paying attention to a bunch of things at once. In reality, I prefer to focus on one thing all the way. And that's how I come to different conclusions in cases like this than the behavior panel, apparently. Only one of us can be right. Psychopaths are the best natural liars on earth. They can fool facial analysis, body language analysis, and even beat a polygraph. So what's the secret to catching them in a lie? In this video, I'll show you 4 ways.
Okay, so I can't wait to see the 4 ways. He does have such a nice voice, my PTSD, doesn't he? Really nice, mellow voice and really, really smart commentary. Rosebud, you're very right. It's interesting that all of these cases have a very important thing in common, CPS, right? Absolutely. I think so too. Good to see you. Yeah, I mean, it's we see it in a lot of these cases, whether they were just getting involved, whether they were involved for a while, or hey, like this in Summer's case, right the day before she went missing, they were there. It's like, oh my gosh.
I'm Deception Detective. I'm an attorney trained in statement analysis, and this channel exists to expose lies and manipulation. Before we proceed, please hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell. And if you tap that thank you button, I appreciate it. In today's video, we're going to watch an interview that Dr. Phil did with the parents of Summer Wells. This is the 7th video in my Summer Wells series. And in this portion of Dr. Phil's interview with them, they will actually sit down with 2 body language experts from the behavior panel. And although I'm not a psychologist, I cannot diagnose Don as a psychopath. I have seen him exhibit some signs of a psychopath, which we'll go over in this video. And as I
agree,
said, a psychopath can beat body language analysis. So I want to see if he does that here. I've watched the first few minutes of this, but I've not actually watched the body language analysis portion. So I'm very, very curious to see if the guys from the behavior panel who analyze him here come up with different conclusions than I do. Without further ado, let's listen.
Today on
I agree that this is an outside the norm case. If you've seen my other playlists, for example, Madeleine McCann, John Benet Ramsey, Amanda Knox, etc., this is one of the most unusual cases we've analyzed on the channel simply because the parents are so bizarre, which we will get into. And outside of Casey Anthony and O.J. Simpson, I think that Don Wells is the only other true psychopath we've seen on the channel.
I wonder if this was done before he analyzed Chris Proudfoot. Just wondering, right? Oh, and Rosebud, I meant to leave that up there. Don is a career criminal, in my opinion. He knows how to handle himself answering questions. He is, in my opinion, a product of the system. I agree with that. I do. I think that he knows how to handle people. He's very manipulative. Don is absolutely manipulative, and if we didn't know who he really was, we may be fooled too. That's the charismatic side of them. That's why they're able to, um, get in people's good graces, get in their head, all of that. Oh, I'm glad. Detroit says I just conquered the attack of the killer tomatoes. That's so funny. I know. Well, it can be, and I like totally nerd out over it. All that is unseen, I do. I'm nerding out over here. I'm like, this is great, but I think it's important, and again, I do want to point out that this news clip is 9 days into the search for Summer Wells. So this is all the stuff that was being said in the beginning.
And once again, just as a disclaimer, I am not a psychologist. I cannot diagnose Don Wells.
Me neither.
But in my last video about him, he actually exhibited what's known as duper's delight.
Yes, he did. And I'll rewind that back. There's this handy dandy little book that I told you guys about. I've said it before. It's called the DSM-5. It's a diagnostic manual. And you can learn a lot from that little book. And in there, it does list characteristics for each of these personality disorders and things of that nature. So that's where I kind of refer myself to. Oh, whoops, sorry. I think I just need to go back just a tiny bit more here. No, not the same spot I was in.
I am not a psychologist. I cannot diagnose Don Wells. But in my last video about him, he actually exhibited what's known as duper's delight, which is a visual. He actually giggled at the idea of Dr. Phil saying that he believes he is innocent.
Sure did.
And this is something that psychopaths do. They like to lie for the sake of lying and getting away with it. And when they get away with it, they sometimes experience such an endorphin rush that they smile and giggle. So if you haven't seen that one, I recommend checking out after this, as well as my short where I actually show O.J. Simpson bursting out laughing, talking about the idea that he murdered his wife. So when I saw that, I thought to myself, Don Wells may in fact be a psychopath, which is why he's the perfect candidate for this video, where I will show you 4 ways to catch a psychopath. And they are very difficult to catch. But we do have 4 ways, and if we rely on them, we can do it reliably. Getting really worried. If he were actually worried, if he's telling us a true story, I would expect him to say, I was really worried.
Right. I was really worried because that would make sense, right? At that moment, he was worried. He's recalling an event where he was worried, right? So he's going to say, I was worried, not I'm getting really worried. So that's really interesting. And also I noticed that Katie does that quite frequently. And so does Chris.
Anxiety was building up. My wife just called me and told me she couldn't find my daughter. I was racing home. My heart was beating. I was getting worried. I was getting nervous. But instead he says it in the present tense. So we flag that. Does that mean that he's lying? No, of course not. We need multiple signs of deception to determine that someone's lying. All right, at this point, we'll get into our first of the 4 tells of a psychopath. So I posted this on my X account a few minutes ago. So one of the great indicators of a psychopath is they tell bold stories. So they are not shy about making up a story and saying it boldly, even to the police, even to the media. Whereas normal liars, for example, in my opinion, the McCanns, are more reticent about making up a bold story on the fly and telling it to the police, right? In their case, in the beginning, they were very reticent about talking at all, which is typical of non-psychopathic liars, i.e. the run-of-the-mill normal liar. But psychopaths like Casey Anthony or O.J. Simpson or Don Wells, in my opinion, I believe all 3 are psychopaths, are not shy about making up a bold story. They like the thrill of making up a story, they get excited by getting away with it.
That's Chris Proudfoot, guys. That's Chris Proudfoot. And we've also watched him in real time have that duper's delight, just like Don has it. And it's very, it's just, it's the Grinch's smile coming across their face, right? They take great delight in duping others. Duper's delight. Okie Granny, there's too many coincidences. Absolutely. I agree. And, I really hope they will go back and analyze Summer's case again.
And they think they're smarter than everybody.
Sure do.
So they don't think they'll get caught. They're not expecting someone like me to go back and listen and parse their words, right? They're not predicting people like you and me to come along.
That's right.
So they don't mind telling bold stories, but the stories of a psychopath lack two things. They lack emotion. So they might tell you a big story about where they went, what they did, what they saw. It could all be 100% fake.
Katie.
But they forget to include emotion, right? I was scared. I was nervous. Even there, right? Even in his, what I believe to be a made-up story, he inserted the emotion in the present tense, right? He was thinking, I've got a camera on me. I've got to say this now. It wasn't included in his original scripted story. So they lack emotion and they lack relationship details. And this is because psychopaths do not experience emotion like you or me. They don't have attachments to people. That's someone like Chris Watts, who I believe is also a psychopath, who can murder his entire family because they're a nuisance to him. He wants to date a new girl. He wants to start a new life. He could divorce his wife. That's what the normal person might do. Or in his case, if he's a psychopath, it's easier just to kill her and the kids because there's no relationship. Why leave them alive to have a nagging ex-wife, to pay alimony, child support for 18 years? She was still pregnant with another kid. He could just kill them all and go live with his girlfriend. So in Don Wells' case, I think if he is a psychopath, we're going to see lots of missing emotion from his stories as well as relationship details. And already we can see he tripped up on the emotional part of that story. And then since we're here, the second tell of a psychopath is duper's delight. So we have bold stories lacking emotion, relationship details, and duper's delight. And there's two more that hopefully I'll be able to point out in this video. All right, another sign of a hoax, like my last video, one sign of a hoax is conclusiveness, where someone says they knew something happened without any evidence of it. So for example, there where Don says, I knew she had been abducted. As far as his story goes, if it's true, he just pulled up to the scene. How would he know she was abducted?
Exactly. How would he know? And they've said it with such certainty too. Thank you, little Miss Sharon. Yeah, I mean, he's just such a cutie pie, Gus. He's so cute. Poor little guy. But yeah, which he, in one of the interviews, didn't the boys say we didn't do anything when Don Wells pulled up to the driveway? I do remember that. I do. But they were blaming them even in that first interview, and they were just blaming. And well, Don did one before Candus, and then Don and Candus got up together and did one together. So because he did one 3 days in, and then they did one 13 days in, I believe is the correct timeline there. Yeah, I've known people that are. Okie Granny, I'm so sorry. Yeah. And it's so sad, because it rips the family apart and everything. And especially when it's the head of the household like that. Like, oh my goodness.
There's no evidence. How did they not know she didn't just wander off? Or a bear snatched her? Or she was playing hide and seek and she was still in that messy, hoarders looking house.
Right? Or if she wandered into the woods, did she get hurt? Right? But I mean, was it like her to wander? Like those kids know the woods when they grow up in that area and they're so used to that, right? Born around it. They know the woods.
So the fact that he's so conclusive, pulling up to the scene that she was kidnapped, is a red flag for a hoax, a flag that they're lying.
Yep.
Secondly, let's say the story was true. Why would he not suspect the neighbor? Why did he not say, hey, what are you doing here near my sons? He sees a full-grown man out there near his sons. His wife just told him his daughter's missing. Would he not even question the neighbor? But he doesn't say that. And then the third inconsistency in this story, right, just these brief few seconds here, is, and I pointed this out in a previous video, if you thought your daughter was kidnapped, would you send your sons out, who are also children, out into the woods to look for her? If you actually believe there was a kidnapper or a potential kidnapping ring out in the woods, would you send your sons out there alone to go look for your daughter who you believe is kidnapped or abducted?
Nope.
Of course not. Right? You would bring the sons home, lock the doors, call the police. You would not send them out alone into the woods to look for her. That's something you do when you're bad at imagining what someone in that position would have done.
Exactly. And you wouldn't blame the kids anyway. Like, who does that? Even if it was one of the kids' fault, per se, right? Like, you say they really did say you're supposed to keep an eye on Summer, right? Keep an eye on her. And she ran away on her own, or somebody snatched her up. How is it their fault? You know? So, yeah, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. What did Deborah say? Did I miss something? I'm sorry, guys. I might have missed it. Good to see you, Deborah Dixon. Yeah. So it's crazy. It's a big hell no. It's a big hell nah. Witchy mama. It's a big hell nah, you know? I mean, so it's like, but yeah, you just don't do that. Like, I don't know. You can't expect them. But also, they were just all around the house. They were all home. It's just so weird.
So all three of those things, the fact that he didn't suspect the neighbor, that he was conclusive his daughter was abducted without any evidence, and the fact that they sent the sons out to look for Summer, all indicates to me that they knew there was no kidnapper in the area. In other words, it means they knew what happened to Summer. And that's just critical thinking. Right? Very little of what I just said was actually any statement analysis at all. It was just using my imagination and thinking, what would someone actually in that situation do? And liars typically don't take that step. It's very hard to act exactly how you should act in a situation that you're not actually in. Even blockbuster movies with $1 million budgets, professional scriptwriters, unlimited time to make sure there's no loopholes, still have plot holes, right? So fabricating an airtight story is virtually impossible. And on this channel, what we do is we look for those. All right, so before we get into this, because this is going to be what I really want to see in this video, is if they do fool the body language guys, how do they do it? As I said, psychopaths can fool body language analysts. They can also fool Ekman followers who believe in facial microexpression analysis. The only people they can't fool are people like me, who engage in deception detection, statement analysis, critical thinking, logic. But before we get into that, notice how Dr. Phil said that the people who question them are bullies. And I just want to address that quickly. I get lots of comments.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, Deborah Dixon. The sons know something. They know. Yeah, but they're terrified. I agree. Hey, Paula, good to see you. Paula says, Candus proved that they knew what happened to Summer. Yeah, I believe so too. You know, that's why it's so important for me to revisit some of these things too, because it's just undeniable. And the way that Deception Detective does this, you know, I think is a very good way, using their words, right? And listening to what they're telling us, right? Being a good listener, we'll find out the information we need.
On my channel, people saying, hey, how dare you, DD, question these parents who have lost their kid? You know, aren't you ashamed of making money, making videos about these people? How do you sleep at night? And whenever I do a new Summer Wells video, I get lots of new subscribers. So I'm sure some people will make those comments. And I just want to give you my response to those sorts of comments before we get into this part of the video.
Wait, this is gold.
Okay. So, yeah, the thing is that the way that I kind of think of that question, in my opinion, is that the victim stories are the ones that are the most important, right? So if we're retelling the victim story and that's striking a chord with someone, that is showing me that someone may be feeling feelings of guilt, right? Um, if it's striking a chord with them, or if it bothers them a whole lot, then it makes me wonder if I'm onto something, right? So, there's different ways of looking at it. And of course, you don't want to hurt or be hateful towards anyone. That's not the point. The point is trying to figure out what happened to Summer, because she's the victim. She was 5 years old when she went missing, and she's still out there somewhere. So I sleep just fine. I'd sleep even better if we could find these kids and bring them home. I'd be sleeping great.
Whether it's me or any other YouTuber or commentator commenting on a case about a missing child and people are trying to silence them by shaming them, here's my response, and I recommend you can copy this, take it for yourself, make it your own. But here's my response preemptively to any comments like that. I only care about two things: the truth and teaching people how to spot it before misinformation becomes too powerful. I can't be shamed, I can't be bought, and I can't be blackmailed. Capiche?
Capiche.
All right, with that said,
I love that. I want to just say the capiche part, right? Like, I love that. Right? Capiche, you understand what I'm saying? And I got I need to get back on camera so I can show you guys that I'm doing the hand, right? My goodness, that was perfect. The truth matters, right? And seeking out the truth and following the facts in these cases is paramount, because if we're looking down the wrong path, or say, oh god, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but say some of the cases that we think we know what happened, we find out something completely different, and it's shocking, and we're like, oh my gosh, wow, how did I miss that? It's going to happen. But the truth matters. And when you're following those breadcrumbs, it's inevitably going to lead someplace, right? When you stop seeing breadcrumbs, you've made a wrong turn, and or something has happened, right? But again, I think it's so important to identify what the truth is. It's very difficult when we have parents that are most likely involved, because they aren't going to be truthful, right? We're not going to get a pretty buttoned up statement because they're not being truthful. It's not going to make sense because it's not the truth. The truth makes sense. It sets you free. It makes you think, oh wow, now everything just fits into place. Now, oh, that's why that happened, because of this. Oh, okay. Right? You have the light bulb go off. Capiche? No, I'm just kidding. That's so funny. We got to hear that again.
two things: the truth and teaching people how to spot it before misinformation becomes too powerful. I can't be shamed, I can't be bought, and I can't be blackmailed. Capiche?
Perfect.
All right, with that said, let's watch the body language guys from the behavior panel analyze Don Wells, see if I agree with them, see where we disagree. If you followed my channel for a while, you know that we disagree on lots of stuff. I disagree with them about the McCanns, and I disagree with them about the Wells. And I'm sure those aren't the only cases we disagree on. Hey.
It's okay, Paula. And you know what? And I'll tell you what. I don't know if they're guilty 100% either way, I slice it either. But I'm about like 99 point. No, I'm just kidding. 99.99999%. No, but no, really, I'm very much thinking it's only like a 1% chance that I could be wrong on this one. And I wish that I was wrong. But all opinions are welcome here, Paula. So yeah. She says that I'm not saying that they're guilty, and that's okay. Look, it would be nice to do a start over from the beginning on all of these cases, right? And see where the breadcrumbs actually lead us to. And also, hindsight is very, good. It's awesome when we have hindsight. Detroit, exactly. That's what I was doing. I'm doing it again now. Right? Capiche? Like, oh my goodness. I love it though. But yeah, I can't be boss, any of that. Blackmail, please. It's like, no. Mm-mm. We're searching for the truth. Yeah. I need to clip that. That is really great.
He said what I've been saying about body language, so I actually give him kudos for that. As I've always said, body language is great for communication, right? Like you see me doing it all the time with my hands, or if I smile, I'm happy. If I'm frowned, I'm mad. I'm sad. That's what body language is great for, right? I cross my arms, I'm not feeling comfortable. So body language is great for communicating overt things. So don't get me wrong, body language is great for communication. It's great for seeing if someone is stressed or cold. But it is not useful at all for detecting deception. Because if someone folds their arm or blinks a lot or looks left or right, it doesn't tell me they're lying. It just tells me they're nervous.
I agree.
Or they're stressed. And they could be nervous or stressed for a million different reasons. In the case of Dawn and Candus Wells here on the Dr. Phil show, they could be nervous just because they're getting questioned by two guys who interrogated people with the FBI. That's enough to be nervous about.
I'd be
just
nervous.
like if the police pull you over, even if you didn't do anything wrong, you stiffen up, your adrenaline rushes, your eyes widen. That doesn't mean that when you tell them you weren't speeding that you're lying. So I'm glad he said that up front, because that's what I've always said. All right, and before we watch them, let's get into this next way to spot a psychopath. So psychopaths are great at convincing people with face and body language, which is why on my channel and me personally, I just ignore body language entirely.
Well, and I have to also say that when Deception Detective says this, right, it made my mind go right back to Don looking at, oh my gosh, I just drew a blank. Looking at Fred, and convincing him. He's looking into his eyes. He's telling him, very matter of fact. He thinks this is what he thinks, right? And he's very convincing through his facial expressions. And that's where my mind went back to right then.
I prefer not to see the mother of a missing child crying or getting, flustered or boisterous, because really good actresses and actors, of course, can tug on my heartstrings. It doesn't mean they're not lying, but it can persuade me. So if you just ignore the body language entirely, it's a lot easier to listen to what they're actually saying. So that's especially true when it comes to psychopaths. They are very good at acting. They can really convince people by acting. However, what they struggle with, just like any other liar in the world, is saying the right words and coming up with an airtight alibi, airtight story. And that's where even the best liars in the world fail. And that's what we look for on this channel. So when we see these parents crying, and we've seen clips already from this that Candus is going to be crying, do not allow for it to tug on your heartstrings. You have to block that out. And it might sound heartless. I might sound like one of those bullies that Dr. Phil is talking about, that I'm bullying these people. But that's not the case. I personally have no stake in any of the people we cover here.
Well, neither do I. And here's the thing. I don't like that, because that's what we hear in Sebastian's case. Oh, we're getting bullied. We're getting this. We're getting that. Well, what about Sebastian? Is he getting enough food? Is he getting enough warmth? You guys shouldn't be caring about what you're getting. You should be wondering about what Sebastian's getting. And that's a major problem. I mean, a parent who's actually missing their child is not going to be worried about that in the slightest.
If something I say here helps find Summer, that's great. That's not the point of my channel, right? The point of my channel is not to find Madeline, or it's not to find Summer. It's not to figure out what happened to John Bonet. It's not to incite harassment against the parents or people I think are guilty. It's literally to use them because you'll watch videos about them to teach you how to spot lies and manipulation before it's too late. That's literally the entire reason I came back to YouTube. There's so much advanced lying out there now that soon with AI and just data, it's going to be too hard to detect a lie unless you've learned how to do it already. All right, so here's the 4 things. We'll go through all 4 of these so you can look for them yourself when we watch this. So number 1, 4 tells of a psychopath. The first one is they are very convincing at face and body language, so you just have to ignore that entirely. And on this channel, we already do that. Number 2, psychopaths may exhibit duper's delight. So that is one great tell. They enjoy lying. They enjoy getting away with it. They're not stressed about lying, so they might actually just display duper's delight if you make them think that you believe them. Number 3, they are very bold storytellers. They will make up a story on the spot because they think they're smarter than you. They will tell a bold story, a big detailed story, but their story will miss out on emotional and relationship details. And then 4th, psychopaths struggle face to face. So it's a lot easier for them to lie over the phone or over Zoom, or as I've seen with people like Ziggy, where they actually do a YouTube live call with them, right, or a phone call. Psychopaths excel at distant interviews, but it's a lot harder face to face, which is why I'm glad that these guys have gotten Don Wells in the studio to interview him face to face. It's also the reason that when I issued my challenge to Don Wells 2 videos ago, I told him, you don't even have to meet with me or talk to me. I will send you questions. All you have to do is write your answers. And if you satisfy me with your answers, I'll never make another video about you again. Because I knew that he was more likely to take me up on that challenge than to actually ever talk with me or meet with me. Not that I ever want to meet him. All right. So now let's watch these guys. Use almost the exact same example I used. And stress does not indicate deception. So that's the logical leap that lots of body language people make. If you're on the Dr. Phil show, even if you are telling the truth that your kid was actually kidnapped, of course you're going to be stressed. Because you're going to think, hey, do I come off looking innocent? Do I come off looking guilty? Why are these 2 guys staring at me like this? Do they think I'm guilty? What if I say the wrong word? The other weakness of body language, just like a polygraph, is you need a baseline. Whereas what we do here is I don't need a baseline. I'm literally listening to what the subject says. I'm listening to what they say precisely, and I'm pointing it out. So for example, if they say, I didn't do anything wrong, like Alan Dershowitz said in the video I did about him. Right? He said, I didn't do anything wrong. I don't need a baseline. I'm just listening to what he says. Okay, he says he didn't do anything wrong. What's the problem with that? The problem with that is the word wrong. Wrong is a subjective word. All he's saying is he didn't do something that he considers wrong. He didn't say he didn't sleep with a minor or didn't sleep with Jane Doe X. He just said he didn't do anything wrong.
Oh, wow. That is such a great point. So when we hear that, that's something to key in to as well, that, I didn't do anything wrong. Well, that, depends on if you, some people really don't think that they did anything wrong, right? When they clearly did.
And maybe in his mind, wrong means that he had mens rea, that he did something knowing she was underage. Right? So we don't need a baseline. We're just listening to exactly what people say. And there's a second good example I'll show you right now quickly. I don't know anything about Nikki Haley. But I don't need a baseline, for example, to see here where a few days ago she admitted to having an affair with some guys while she was married. But when she denied it earlier, she said, I was 100% faithful. Saying you're 100% faithful is not the same as saying I did not sleep with X, Y, and Z. And on X, when I posted this, I said, this mirror Bill Clinton's denial about sexual relations with Monica Lewinsky. Both hinge on the speaker's interpretation of a subjective word. In Nikki Haley's case, it's faithful. Right? So we don't need to know anything about Nikki Haley, Alan Dershowitz, Bill Clinton to listen to their words and determine if they're being deceptive or not. Are they using overly specific words, overly vague words? Are they evading the question? Are they going on a tangent to run down the clock and look like they're giving an answer, etc., etc.? Right? If you've pre-ordered the deception deck, which is my 52 favorite rules for spotting deception, those will be shipping out at the end of this month. You have 52 different tells for spotting a liar, none of which require. This is a good question, and this is something I've said about the McCanns as well. Summer, according to their story, which I believe is scripted, disappeared while Don was at work. So his daughter went missing. He comes home. His wife tells him the story. When your kid is missing, everybody is a suspect.
Right.
Even your wife might be a suspect. You know, are you telling me the truth? Were you off in another room and something happened to her? Just be honest with me. Just tell me. Also, Candus's mother lived with them. Don never questioned the grandmother. Never questioned the boys, right? Like I pointed out earlier, never questioned that neighbor. That lack of curiosity is a great indicator of a hoax. That they're not suspecting everyone because they actually know what happened. Whereas if they actually didn't know what happened, everyone would be a suspect. Even your wife would be a suspect until you're convinced that she, wasn't being negligent and the kid wandered off and now she's scared of you being upset with her.
Well, absolutely. Because again, you want to find the truth. You want to find out what's going on. You want to find your child. So of course you're side-eyeing everybody. Okie Granny says Don has 7 alibis, wink. Exactly. And Candus doesn't have any. It reminds me of when Chris Proudfoot said, I had to answer 13 effing questions and Katie only had to answer 5. And I don't know if he said Katie or my wife. So, oh my goodness. All of them are taking the other's evil persona. Isn't it crazy? There's like so many comparisons, I just wish I had the clip right offhand so I could play it really quick and be like, see, but it's definitely out there.
So she's covering it up. And like I said, similarly with the McCanns, when Madeline was allegedly abducted, the McCanns didn't question any of their friends who were on the trip with them. They didn't question the guy who checked the room before Kate, right? He would be the obvious suspect. He's the one who checked the bedroom right before Kate did. He had opportunity. He had access to the room. He had no alibi, but they never suspected him. They never suspected hotel staff. It's a great indicator of a hoax, that they actually know what happened. A lack of curiosity. And Don's answer here was despicable, right? It was weak, very wordy, which indicates nervousness. And it was wrong. In that he says, the way it all played out. What played out? It's an interesting choice of words, almost like it was a play acting, like a screenplay. But we're coming up on 40 minutes here, so I'm not going to go do a deep dive into that. If you see my videos,
that's wonderful news that there are missing posters of Summer hanging at Sturgis this week. Wow, that is really awesome. And I don't know if I've ever heard of Serenity Denard, missing from South Dakota. Children's home never got the attention it deserves. I think of her often. Aw. I'll have to look up her case. And she's never been found? Wow. Yeah, it's so sad. You've never seen this interview, Detroit? Oh man, it was really interesting. This is where that whole Cornbread Mafia stuff came in. And, Cornbread Mafia is a group that is more into like selling, Mary Jane and, still sell hemp products to this day. But they got busted in the 80s. So, yeah, but this is where that came from, you know?
Feel free to drop in the comments other things you noticed in his response that were red flags. Besides the fact that A, it was the incorrect response, B, it was extremely wordy, and C, he talked about it playing out.
I mean, I don't really have any. I mean, I question. I don't really have any questions. I mean,
So your daughter's missing and you have no questions. You don't know what happened to your daughter and you have 0 questions. That is a giant red flag. And I'm glad the behavior panel guys are not jumping all over him. Their technique so far, what I've seen, is very good. So maybe I've been too critical of them in the past. Still, I disagree with them about the Wells and I disagree with them about the McCanns, and I'm sure we disagree about plenty of other things. And part of the reason is body language guys can be fooled by psychopaths, by acting. No tears, so we have mismatch of emotions with displayed emotions. She looks really sad. She's never once told us how sad she is. We have extreme reticence, right? Every answer is a one-word answer. She's treating this like they're interrogating her, right?
Katie.
Like it's a confrontational interrogation. Really, she should be telling us. She's on TV right now. Give us some of the theories. Throw out some of the suspects.
Exactly. Totally like Katie. Exactly like Katie Little Miss Sharon. And who was the last one? Was Summer, her mother, right? Candus here. And same thing with Sebastian. Last one with him, his mom, Katie Proudfoot. She's going along with Don's lies to cover her butt, in my opinion. Yeah, I believe that's true. You know, I definitely think that, you know, and again, I don't buy that stuff too. I understand that there's, you know, different mannerisms or, you know, kind of ways of life and things like that. But I know it's been said that on even Elevated Goof said it. Well, it's just a Southern thing, you know, where men will answer for their wives and stuff like that. I don't really think that's true. I mean, I think it's more of an old-fashioned way of doing things. I don't know that works out so well these days, in my opinion. Oh, I definitely think they know. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Detroit and Little Miss Sharon, you guys are just spot on with that. I mean, it's so obvious.
Let us help you. And I can't even get into vagueness because she's being so reticent that she's not even telling us a little bit of a story to be vague about. And then we do have, in the very few words she said, we have conclusiveness. Right? When they say, do you know who took her? She didn't say, I'm not even sure if she was taken. She just says, no, I don't know who took her. Right? She's still conclusive that she was taken. Just she doesn't know by who. And if you've seen my video, What Do Innocent Parents Look Like? You'll know that innocent parents speak very differently than this. To an innocent parent, every option is open. And that is probably one of my most underrated videos. So after watching this video, I recommend watching that one just so you can see the stark difference. The video is titled, What Do Innocent Parents Look Like? And the word on the thumbnail is mirror.
Ooh, and that's interesting. We'll have to go over that another night, guys. But yeah, that's really, really interesting. I highly recommend Deception Detective channel. He does a very good.
Like I said, I think she's actually a better liar than Dawn simply because she's not as bold as Dawn. I had nothing to do with this. The issue with that denial is it's not specific. I had nothing to do is not the same as saying I didn't kill my daughter, or I didn't hide my daughter, I didn't sell my daughter. So it's not a direct denial, but then again, they've given her a very vague question. So while it's not a perfect denials are usually specific. This is better than what Don said.
okay.
And the like I said, ever since early on, I feel like Candus is going along with the story and that Don is the driver. So, for example,
There you go. And here comes an incoming example, right? Yes. Capiche, capiche. But yeah, that's exactly what you said too, Detroit. Don's the one steering the narrative and Candace is just going along. Oh gosh, look, I mean, she just looks like a deer in the headlights.
if they did sell Summer, or, and I don't know why, they could have sold her to someone for drugs because they had to settle a debt, or because someone they know took her and they're too afraid to turn that person in because they've got something on them or they can exert power over them. But if any of that did happen, I believe that Don is the one in charge because he is the type of person who is bold enough to pull off something so disturbing and to think he can get away with it. And so far, he is getting away with it. So he's been proven correct. So we should see him being even more boisterous next time we see him appear online. It'd be a great indicator if, as time goes on, he appears more and more happy and boisterous, because it will indicate to us that he's getting away with something, which means that he probably has guilty knowledge.
Chris Proudfoot.
And it is not what we'd expect of a parent of a missing child. If your kid is missing every day that goes on, it's less likely that your child will be returned. So I would love to see him appear back on social media and gauge if he's happier and bolder and more brash than before. Because if his kid were actually missing, I would expect him to be sadder and more desperate and more dejected than before.
Okay, and I agree with that. Now we have, this newest interview that we can reference, and in my opinion, he didn't seem like he was happy-go-lucky or anything, but he definitely didn't seem to be begging people for help finding his daughter. I mean, it's very apparent that Don is indifferent, in my opinion.
This is a common technique. We've seen this in my John Benet Ramsey series, where you ask someone, what should happen to the person that did this? So in the John Benet case, right, they asked the parents, what should happen to the person who killed John Benet? And John gave a very weak punishment. I think he said something like, they should be punished under the law. And Patsy Ramsey couldn't even give an answer, which went on to support my theory about what happened. So if you haven't seen that series, I suggest checking that out as well as my McCann series. Here, Candus actually gave a better answer than both John and Patsy, in that she at least wanted the person punished. And if Don is the one who's responsible for whatever happened to Summer, which I believe he is, she probably has a lot of resentment to him about that, which is why she was able to at least give a punishment, right? To at least say a punishment. Unlike Patsy Ramsey, who couldn't even bring herself to punish the person who was responsible, even hypothetically, right? Because she loves them.
Hmm.
Yeah, same answer.
That's the answer.
Yeah, same answer.
The other thing that Candus said that I noticed, I don't know if it's just the way she was speaking, but she said that they should be punished, like a plural, which if Dawn sold Summer to someone, would be, she considers both these people reprehensible. Dawn, who sold her, and the person who bought her, right? The person who took her, or the person.
Wow, that's really interesting too, that she said they. So that was a great catch in my opinion.
Person who took her without permission, and John for forgiving that person. Dawn for forgiving that person. So the fact that she said they is interesting. That she might be envisioning two people. And when there's two people, I agree with these guys here that it is transactional. And this is something we've said ever since early on in this series. The possibility that she could have been sold. And the way we came to it was based on nothing but the words of Candus and Dawn themselves.
But here, what you get is very different. Here, what you get is...
All right, so we're halfway through this. If you want a part 3, please let me know in the comments. A like and a comment is a vote for part 3. Let's try to get this video to 50,000 views.
Okay, guys. So, as always, just, very interesting content, very to the point. It's easy to understand, not a whole lot of, jargon and, different, you know, lingo that you would expect from someone who's a lawyer. A lot of times they use a lot of that lingo and jargon, and, then we're like, what the heck are they even talking about? Which is awesome that, Deception Detective does explain it so well to all of us. Um, so I just kind of wanted to show that, and, um, go over this and finish up our part 2 to the new Candace and Don interview. Um, so, I mean, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments section, because I think that it's important to continue on with the conversation. Obviously, it's something that is still bothering Candace. It's very apparent watching her react, you know, in my opinion, not for Summer, but for herself, so. Okay, I think she was jealous of her. Yeah, I think so too, Detroit. I know. Yeah, and how about the proud feet? Let's go to Disneyland, a casino, camping, anything else but look for your child. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I mean that's what all of our answers would be, Okie. Like, um like that movie A Time to Kill, Kill. Whoops. Samuel L. Jackson is like, yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in HELL. Like that's what you're searching for on the first take, right? Like unprompted, just right there, right? Because obviously, if somebody took your precious little girl, this precious little baby girl, Summer here, right? I get she was 5, so she's not a tot or anything like that, but or a toddler, but she's still just barely over that mark, right? At 4 or 5 years old. Um, so sad. Uh, and then also, I think that you know a father is usually more like to be the one that would be like, vengeance is mine. I want that person to burn, right? I mean, I don't care what happens to them. They hurt my little girl. I want my little girl back. They never say we want Summer to come home, like we want her back. Any of that, in my opinion, they know. They know. Yeah, me too, Detroit. Same here. Detroit says, Lady, I'm learning as I go. Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's also interesting, you know. I mean, it's just the more that comes out, and there's going to be more that does come out. I really believe that. I believe we're going to have a better idea of the truth and what was going on in Sebastian's case. And I hope that for Summer's case as well. I hope this kind of gets people to want to look more into it and be like, hey, what really happened? Where is she? Kids just don't go poof. We know that. We know that's the truth. And so, yeah, hopefully they will get, again, a fresh set of eyeballs on Summer's case. And with the new sheriff, we might have a little bit of hope for that. Um, it's all we can really do is hope and pray in these cases that something breaks. But I do believe the truth is always going to come out. I really, truly believe that. I think the truth will always come out. And it's just a matter of time. And, before you know it, that day is here. It's relentless waiting for that day to come. But it always comes, in my opinion. It's quite inevitable, it seems. Well, guys, I'm gonna hop off of here, and I will see you guys all tomorrow. I think I will probably only do a night show, but I might try. I'm trying so hard to at least do 10 day shows by the end of the month here. I've just been crazy busy. So, yeah, we'll try. We'll just keep it tentative. Like if you do see me pop up during the day, then you'll know that I made it. and that I'm having a good day that's actually staying on track where I need it to be. But otherwise, we'll still have our night court session. And if not, if something was to happen or whatever, I usually will post it on my community wall. But I hope to see you guys tomorrow, and I appreciate you guys all being here. So yeah, it is frustrating. Okie Granny says it's frustrating that law enforcement is so soft on crime when it comes to these cases. I excuse me, I agree with that, and I appreciate your statement because I believe that too. I get really frustrated when I see cases like this that aren't handled in a timely manner when we know they could have gotten more information. Um, I hate to see the circus. I hate to see all of that, the distractions and these parents when they come out and they're making offhanded statements and, causing huge distractions in these cases. But law enforcement being so soft on the parents and, well, they're cooperating. Well, are you asking them to do anything, or are they just cooperating because no one's looking? I mean, it's frustrating. And I wish that they would do better. It's sad that we see it so often. But again, I'm really hoping they can get a fresh set of eyes on this. You stay safe too, Sonia. Thanks so much for being here. Good night, Cinderella. Detroit says, I hope Seth and Sebastian get the same grace and justice. Me too. Me too. Yeah, absolutely. Anytime, Okie Granny, and I so appreciate your knowledge on Summer's case, because there's just so much to keep up with, and the better I know the cases, the more I can kind of remind and spread that awareness out there. So, and I want to make sure I tell Summer's story, the way that she deserves to have it told, because she went through so much. And I just hate to cheapen that because her parents are so manipulative, or somebody new comes on the case and they're not really aware of everything that's happened, only, seeing the surface stuff. So sweet dreams. Thank you so much, Detroit. Thank you guys so very, very much. You guys are so amazing, and I really appreciate each and every one of you. All right, guys. Well, I will see you all